Are we here?
Hello?
We're here.
Is anybody out there?
Melissa's always like, hello?
Hello? Is there anybody
Why
out
do you
there?
talk like that?
I don't know.
Hello? My goodness, we're here. Let's make sure we're actually live because I love when I make mistakes.
Ooh, I got that notification already. We should be good.
Oh, good. I love that for me. I love when I do the right thing.
Yes, I see.
Hi, Gavin. We are confirmed live.
Gavin, what's up?
Gavin, how are you? You're quick.
Remember when he was like, you guys know you can call me Gavin, and we're all like, we've been calling you Mud this whole time.
Yeah. Wait, why do I want to switch you? Hold on. I'm sorry. This is just me having OCD. I feel like D is usually in the middle, and I'm putting D there. Sorry.
Oh my god, wait, yeah, this is kind of like
yeah, I'm used to it at this point.
Yeah. So I'm going to make a chart for future reference.
Actually, we're kind of like, it's really dark on one side, and then it gets a little bit progressively lighter as we go.
It's like an ombre. Dark,
what?
Dark to light.
Like I love ombre. That.
Oh my god. Not even
already
wasted. My Halloween tapestry.
I love it for you. I'm not wasted, but I hope to be there soon.
You can do it, Celeste. We believe in you.
I know. I don't have the crazy 14% alcohol that Andy got me last time, so.
Oh. Okay.
Oh man.
That I'm drinking right now.
I don't have it this time. I have a good old vodka with juice thing going on.
Nice.
Well, that's a lot more alcohol, actually.
Is it?
Vodka over beer?
But it's only a shot.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's true.
I was like, do you think I'm just drinking vodka straight?
Wait, how many is it? Like
no, whoever would do that.
The video of that lady, she's like, 2 shots of vodka, and she's pouring the whole bottle.
Oh, yeah. Me. Hi, Shaim. Happy Saturday. Oh my goodness. I'm kind of nervous. I'm not going to say enough subgenres, and then people are going to be like, you don't like this?
No, because I feel like
I like everything, to be fair.
Even if we didn't specifically put one in, it doesn't mean we don't like it. Like, it's bound to come up regardless, and we're going to have certain movies from that genre we like.
This is true. This is just our favorites.
Am I dumb, or did I just realize that in StreamYard you can click on the comments thing and see the YouTube comments?
Yeah, D.
I've always had it on the private chat one. I didn't know what comments was. I just clicked on it for the first time.
Open another tab. I never fucking knew that.
Yeah, that's what I've done. I just pulled up YouTube.
Oh no!
Oh, yeah.
Wait, I thought you all knew that. That's on me.
Well, I can't lie. I used to do that for the longest time, so I figured that out. So you guys are good.
No, it's a very common sense thing. I just was not using any common sense.
I legit did not know until halfway through our first live stream.
Oh my!
You know, it only took me 3. I'm just a little bit behind.
Welcome to the stream. I don't think I've seen you before, Flett. Thanks for coming by.
Uh-oh.
Oh, we lost D.
We lost D?
D left. Oh my god, it's unfriended.
Oh shit.
D's back.
It's gonna just show up out of nowhere. D has entered the chat.
D.
Messed up.
D's back. It's okay.
I was trying to get out of the comments because then I had 2 comments things up, and then I hit the login, and then so I'm just not gonna mess with comments anymore. It was a mistake.
I love that for you, Shaim. Well, I love it for you. Hi, Adam. What's up? How are you?
Adam.
My gosh, it's my boyfriend. It's the one and only.
King.
Hi, Rocco. Oh my god, yes! Oh my god,
that's not the first time someone said that today.
earlier I was like, oh, Blood and Black Lace vibes, Giallo era. But you know
then
what?
Joni
It's
literally said
more
Maniac.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't hear Joni say that.
Yeah.
I love that. That is hilarious.
Yeah.
We love the love for Rocco King. All right, I think we're gonna hang out and wait for a couple more people, and then we'll get this going.
Just vibe.
Yeah, we'll vibe.
Did you put anything out on social media that this was going on? Because I totally blanked.
I literally didn't because I had a crazy weekend and forgot.
Oh, okay. Well, this might be all we've got today.
Never too late.
No, I can also make a post now.
No, who cares?
But usually it notifies.
Yeah, the notification, but that usually works.
They got that
Rocco
bell
is the
on.
moment.
Or Silence of the Lambs.
Is that the vibe?
For what I'm doing here, yeah. I do have, well, I don't like to talk about it, but yeah, there's definitely a pit in my basement. And this is for the skin suit that I'm making, but I haven't got very far.
Oh, where's Precious? We want to see Precious.
She's in a basket.
Jesus. The dog. Yes, you gets the hose, Precious. Yeah. Guys,
What's
hi.
happening?
We're just
The dog
reenacting
was
movies.
Not that for me. Instead of writing subgenres, it wrote dub genres. Not that.
Not the dub genres.
Not the dubs. All right. Don't ever be like me and be super unprepared for your own stream. Whatever, I embrace it at this point.
It's more fun that way, though. Do you know what I mean?
Is it? Is it?
Yeah, all these people who prepare. What's the point? You gotta have a bit of excitement. You want a bit of suspense. You want to know what's coming next.
You know what, Francis? And this is why I love you. This is why I keep you around.
Thank you. I'm
You're
not completely
welcome.
useless. I don't just like quiz questions that you hate. I have other things to offer.
I don't hate anything that you ask. You're so upset by this.
I think, yeah. If
It's
you
the
really
seed
want-
of Chucky thing all over again.
Oh no.
Seed of Chucky.
It's gonna be alright. You're gonna survive.
Yes, I am.
You are. Okay, great. I made a little post about that. I love that for me.
Ooh, I will share it.
Oh my god, hi Lanessa. How are you?
Dubstep is horror? Okay.
I mean, it could be.
Absolutely
Subgenres.
not. Junji Ito. Oh, Dee would love this.
iPod.
How did you know my number one horror genre? iPod.
I like how this is a thing after like 2 streams of just yelling at the iPods in a game.
It will never go away. I refuse.
I see that. Like, I really made this happen.
iPods are the moment.
They are the moment. They are a vibe. Okay. So here's what we're gonna do. Actually, I think it'd be really fun if everyone in the chat also goes along with us and tells us your favorite horror subgenres. Why did someone disappear? What happened?
Because we're being stalked and killed.
This is literally
one.
like so weird.
No. They took Joni.
It took him.
Until I hear dubstep on the stream.
Lanessa, I would not play dubstep on this stream. We don't listen to that over here, baby. We don't.
Yeah, let me change my ringtone real quick.
And shit is really rough.
I don't want to scare anybody.
Joni, you are right over there. Okay. Oh. Okay. Oh no, everybody's out of sync. Oh, I hate that.
Okay, I think we're back.
We're back. Let's hope nobody else falls out. Oh my god, Bet! Come through with your drinks, your snacks? Absolutely. I'm gonna leave this on the screen. Love that. Okay. I kind of don't want to start.
Okay.
Maybe I'll just like make somebody else start.
Not it.
Everyone instantly gets nervous.
Not it.
Gavin, that's a pretty good one. You're not boring
that?
for that.
Slashers?
Favorite slashers.
Dude,
That's
that's
a good one.
that's
a
an
classic.
obvious one for me.
Mhm.
I love slashes.
Slashers are
Same.
class.
Absolutely. Do you
Matter
know
of fact,
what? We're
I
gonna
would
make this.
happily start with slashers.
We're gonna make this so much
Ooh.
more fun. We're gonna go in a different order. I'm gonna start with Francis and then go that way.
Oh no.
Francis.
This is terrifying.
No pressure.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna.
Okay.
Are we
It's
going
okay.
straight into it?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll start with my all-time favorite, which is the home invasion subgenre, as I think some of you probably know. It's sort of like, I suppose home invasions are generally slashers, but they're a very specific type. And I think the thing with home invasions for me, and part of why I'm not so into like the supernatural stuff, is because home invasions are the sort of definitive genre of like, this could happen to you. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's home invasions are putting you in a spot where you could see this as a possibility. You're going to at night be nervous when you're home alone, and you know you're going to make sure the doors are locked twice. Do you know what I mean? It's really going to affect you, or at least it really affects me. And there's just something so beautifully terrifying about your home, which is like, your home is like your place of safety, right? Your sanctuary. Above all else, it's definitively the place where you are safe, your retreat. And there's just something so beautifully terrifying about that being invaded by an evil threat who means to do you harm, right? So I think that's why home invasions appeal to me so much, because they are so possible, if that makes sense. And I want to particularly highlight The Strangers. I know Celise and Joni both recommended 2 home invasions that I didn't get a chance to see, but I'm excited by what they sound like. But The Strangers, to me, is the home invasion film of the ones I've seen so far. That is the most terrifying, because it plays it completely straight. You have things like You're Next, which I really enjoy, but there's comedy there. Strangers plays it so straight, and it is genuinely terrifying. It's interesting because The Strangers shows you some of the limitation. Obviously, you have the strengths of the genre. Oh no, we lost Joni.
Yeah, I know. He just messaged me. He's having bad connection. He's
I feel
moving to
that.
another room. He's coming back.
Oh no.
It's okay.
But what's it then? The Stranger. Yeah. So some of the strengths of how real and authentic it can feel, but also The Stranger shows you some of the weaknesses, because there are a few like points where they like leave the house or they split up, and it's a bit contrived. My guy. That is class.
Absolute class.
But there are some parts of The Strangers where it does feel a little bit contrived, and you think it's a bit silly. But to get home invasion film, when you're in a small, unless you're in a mansion, like Ready or Not style mansion where you have a big set to play with, the ordinary person, and if you do that, you sort of lose the magic of home invasions because the vast majority of us do not live in mansions, so it stops feeling like it could happen to you. You lose the authenticity. But yeah, so the limitation of the genre is that you have it's hard to stretch it to feature length, if you know what I mean. So I think The Strangers is an interesting one to look at. Either way, yeah, I think Home Invasions, for the reasons I explained, I just think they're fucking rock and they're terrifying more than anything else.
I love that.
I've not seen that, but Idris Elba is a man. It's
I
quite a
just
man.
moved everyone around. Sorry.
We're getting
No.
whiplash again every time you do
I'm
this.
so sorry, guys. It's all out of whack because Joni disappeared. Francis, you make valid points. Home invasion is definitely really scary because it really feels like it could happen to you. I love that. I don't have home invasion on mine, so I can't jump in on that, but I really appreciate home invasion. Though you know what? I do have one that's kind of considered home invasion that I did recommend to you, but it's also French extremity, which is one of my subgenres on here. It's inside.
Is this the one you recommended?
Yes.
Right,
It's the
yeah.
French. Yeah. But I feel like it's a part of a lot of different subgenres. It's a pregnancy horror. It's French extremity. It's home invasion. It's like, it's a lot. It's a lot in one. Oh,
I
Joni's
think
back.
something interesting about home invasion as well is like, where I said like the problems, the limitations of it is that it's hard to stretch to feature length because you can't be toyed with for that long before you die, right? But you see, like Scream, the opening scene, the iconic opening scene of Scream, which is pretty fucking terrifying, is a home
Definitely.
invasion. Like it could basically a home invasion short film if you isolated it. So I think home invasion can work really well as not necessarily as its own film, but as a scene in particular films. You can be free of the limiting factors of it, but still take advantage of the true strengths of the genre.
We love her. Vanessa, no.
Vanessa is compiling a
She's
file on
ready.
every one of us. We are deep shit.
Oh, Maya, hi. It's your first stream. How are you, girly? Thanks for being here. I did see your comment earlier. Sorry for that. These are my patrons. Everyone say hi.
Howdy.
We have Andy D, Francis, Joni, and of course we have Queen Melissa, who is just like
Thank
my
you.
partner in these streams. Yeah, welcome to the stream. Your favorite subgenre is teen screams. Ooh, that's a lot of fun. Teen screams are fun. Any early 2000s. That's good. I can't agree, but I know some of them are fun. I wouldn't say it's a favorite of mine.
It's a great way to look at it. They count as home invasion.
Right?
Yeah.
It could count, Lanessa. Maybe it could. But
Everything that Francis said about home invasion movies is why I don't like them, because they're way too real. It's literally it's like watching. I was like, fuck this. I'll watch the news
really
if I just want to be
scary.
terrified of real things that could happen to my real person. I'll take ghosts every day of the week. I do not believe in ghosts or anything remotely supernatural, but I love those movies.
Right.
And some people just don't find home invasion scary at all. Like it's quite like it's subjective, like what I'm saying, but like for me, fuck that.
I definitely think they're scary. I think it's incredibly effective. It's the most scariest thing that you can make a story about. For all the reasons that you said, you put it so well. But also, I don't want that in my entertainment. It's too much. I need.
I don't want that. It's a little too close to home.
Yeah, man. I need monsters. I need monsters that I do not believe will ever hurt me.
They'll never show up in my house. It's fine. We're safe.
Hello, Chris. How are you?
What's going on, my buddy Chris? What's up, man?
Chris, thanks for coming by. You make valid points. Trash Dash.
But the stranger could survive. Yeah. That is a home invasion movie, isn't it?
Do you know what we need?
Would the collector count?
Honestly, same. I have actually, to go off what Francis was saying, I'm definitely scared of that because I have like a wooden baseball bat from my Wendy Torrance cosplay that I keep by my door because I don't fuck around. I'm always ready. I'm always prepared.
It's like a short story time, but it's like it scares me because it has like I did have a scare one time, and like my whole fear that night was that someone's gonna break into my house. Because there was one night I got late out of work at like almost 2 a.m. and out of nowhere, this car literally followed me and kept taking every same exact turn till I literally pulled into my neighborhood and I had to keep circling around till I lost him to finally pulling home. And I could not sleep that night. I locked all the doors. I put every single bolt in there. I literally set up the little doggy doors that we have to add extra precautions. I'm like, if Casey gets through this one, they're gonna bust their ass on these couple of doors.
You gotta set some booby traps, girly.
I had the kitchen knife right on the side of my bedstand. I'm like, I'm not playing. I have the dogs with me. I locked every possible door. Like, it's scary. It's like, I feel like the possibility of home invasion never really hit me till after watching The Strangers. Like, it could happen, but I feel like I got way more paranoid about it till after delving more into home invasion movies.
Yeah. Well, okay. I'm sorry, I just can't with this comment.
I don't. I'm terrified. Jurassic Park gives me PTSD because, listen, as you well know, I saw those things. I do not agree with us bringing them back to life.
That's how aggressive we can get.
A velociraptor ate my family, so I don't agree with us bringing them back to life, and I'm terrified of those movies.
We love King Andy.
I think Andy could kill a dinosaur. I think he's got it.
Absolutely.
Sure. Dude, half of them were the size of chickens. I'll kick the shit out of a dinosaur.
I love it, Andy. Yeah, they are, definitely. Oh, yeah, Better Watch Out was really good. Surprisingly good. I wasn't expecting it to be that good. Very good film. Francis, have you seen that one?
It's not a Christmas one.
It's a Christmas one, yeah.
I meant to see it. It's like, is it a babysitter or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, I meant to see it this Christmas, but I never got around to it because that one I love, like Christmas horror as well, and I think it seems like something that would be right up my street, but I never got around to it.
You gotta watch it.
Oh my god. Ooh, no.
Fuck that.
One second.
I don't like either of those options.
Dinosaur
Andy?
clowns? No, we had dinosaur clowns. Modern science hasn't discovered them yet, but I remember. I mean, I'm not making that up for sure. But yeah, no, we used to put makeup on dinosaurs.
Okay.
What do you mean, okay? That's what we did.
All right, I'm gonna need you to like calm down, like take it down. Hello, my friend, Bloodbath and Beyond. How are you, Jay? So good to see you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, that definitely counts.
It's true.
I never thought
that's
of it. Which is stupid,
Oh.
to be honest. But yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen this film. Wait, is this a movie? What?
Yeah,
Am I
it's a
missing
movie. I just can't remember. It's definitely not horror, depending on how you feel about it.
Is it not? I'm kind of scared. What is it?
Is it Fury Vengeance
like
or
a
Furry
cartoon?
Vengeance? Is that?
It's Furry Vengeance.
I have no idea.
Oh my god, yeah, Brendan Fraser is in that. I never thought about
Oh, have you seen it?
I haven't seen the whole thing, but I know of it. I mean, you know what? In a way, it can be home invasion.
Okay.
I'm
Honestly,
saying
this
Delise
entire
won't,
stream is just Linessa and Andy's stream. Like, maybe we
Delise
should
won't give me
all
a
leave.
platform to talk about the truth, so I'm gonna have
Oh,
to go.
no. Yeah.
I'm gonna start my own shit, I guess.
Maybe you should. Oh my god, wait, I don't know what the fuck this is. I don't know what it is. Get out.
I mean, it's home invasion, but it's cute animals. Like,
Oh,
it's
that's
like,
cute.
Is it really
I
that
want to see
bad?
that. That sounds like a vibe. Sounds like
Leave
a
Brendan
moment.
Fraser alone. My God. Oh, man.
I've been through so much. This is just one being.
Bitch, absolutely. It's always chaos.
Truly.
Always come by. It's a great
Oh,
time.
this is just the beginning, girl.
Yeah,
You gotta stick
honestly,
around when
you know what,
people get
Maya?
hit.
Maya, you need to go and watch the horror
The
movie night trivia. Okay? That is fucking chaos.
That was amazing.
You don't even know. Wait till we do part 2, honestly.
It was just a good solid 2 minutes of Giallo era.
Oh my
I was
God.
so drunk. Shut up.
That was
That was
awesome.
so good. That was iconic, though, girl.
Thank you. I don't think so,
loved
though.
it.
I look back and I'm like, that's really cringe.
Nah, that got me hyped. I mean, I was drunk too, but that got me hyped up, man. I loved it.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Hey, Mike, what up? Is it? I guess so. I haven't seen it in a while. I can't attest to this.
With the collector kind of counts too, though, right?
Absolutely.
That one's a pretty good
But-
one. That one surprised me.
But that's also slasher, no?
Yeah.
It's kind of
it gets
too.
into a little bit of everything because it also
That's
came
kind of
out with
the-
like the whole
Yeah.
Kind of the fun of this
Torture.
conversation, though,
Yeah.
is we get to
Yeah.
just pick like the way we look at subgenres.
Mhm.
Like the ones that I have, the movies that I have in certain subgenres. I'm sure someone's gonna be just like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" But it's kind of fun. Just like the way you think about a movie kind of determines what kind of subgenre it would fit in. It says way more about the individual than it does about the movie. That's why I think this is
Right.
a really great idea.
Right. Absolutely, Giallo era. Look at who I'm wearing today.
Wait,
If it isn't
what?
our
Queen.
fucking queen. It's our fucking queen.
Edwig
It's-
Fennick?
It
On a-
is.
Holy shit, that's amazing. Where did you find that?
Thank you. On Etsy, look, it comes with matching earrings, but I had to take them off because of my headphones. But we love a queen.
Yeah, so do I. I would wear that actually.
You know what? Maybe I'll send you the link. You can get one. Twinsies! Absolutely. Okay,
my favorite horror.
I'm gonna catch up on the chat and then we're gonna go on to D next. So D, prepare yourself. I know everybody gets really nervous before they have to speak.
This hurts me.
Ooh, hot take.
Oh wow. That's a good old hot take right there.
I'm so happy you love it. I didn't. But I'm happy you like it.
Meditation or something now.
What?
I need to start meditation or something.
Francis? I think Francis might care a little more than me.
Oh. Wait, is this like the live Rocky Horror Picture Show all over again?
No.
Oh,
Oh
yeah!
God, Melissa, what did you say? Don't say
Sorry.
that.
That's another level. That's another level.
Oh,
That's another level.
We need to put that on a banned list of things to bring up in front of Francis now.
Absolutely. Oh
Unless
my
we
gosh.
have 40 minutes.
I
oh,
Oh,
that was really good
Intruder.
too.
I remember that one. That was pretty good. Have you seen that, Francis?
I have not. This stream is going to show me
Oh.
up for like having seen nothing.
It's okay. You're gonna get through them.
I am.
Jay, I know which one you mean. I know there's a bunch of movies
There's
called
a lot.
Intruder. Oh
There
my
were
god, no,
two.
not a bot. We have a bot again? Not that for me.
Oh,
I hope we
no
don't get
bots.
any sex bots.
That's a genre in itself too.
I apologize in advance for sex bots.
We do. We stand Edwidge Panic.
Hell yeah.
Oh my god, yes! Lanessa, come through. Become a patron today.
She just wants to watch. She wants to watch the two of us wear the same necklaces. Listen, I'm getting there. I've
Let's
changed a
fucking do
lot.
it.
I've changed a lot since becoming a fan of this YouTube page.
I love it. Oh, Jay, you are a sex bot.
Oh
Absolutely.
yeah, he is.
I believe Jay is a sex bot. After our Thursday, we watched the Crazy Evil Bong movie. So we watched 777 and then we watched The Gingerweed Man. And essentially one of them was like watching porn together. So it's like, wow.
Gingerweed Man? I have to see that.
Gingerweed Man. Yeah.
I have to see
The
that.
Gingerweed Man.
Gingerweed Man is Evil Bong and Ginger Dead Man's baby.
Yeah.
Right?
I saw. Is that the one you're saying was like a porn?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that one, and it's only like 40 minutes too. And like half the people are porn stars, and it just feels like a porn movie. It's like, what is this?
It's like kind of iconic.
It is. But man, have those movies strayed from their artistic, beginnings.
Yeah, honestly, wait till you guys see our commentary and see what I rated that movie because
I can't wait to see
I
that.
literally cannot wait to see that.
we were both high.
Oh my
So
God.
That makes it. I cannot imagine watching them any other way.
exactly.
I literally cannot wait to see that. Seeing a mannequin.
Mannequin. What's Mannequin?
Mannequin. Oh my god, Mannequin was like a 80s fantasy comedy movie
Oh, fire.
in which a mannequin like legitimately like would come to life. Wait, who
Wow.
was in Mannequin?
Such a
That. Oh man, I'm getting my movies mixed up. I think it was Kim Cattrall.
Oh my god, Kim Cattrall, icon.
Well, it was either Mannequin or Mannequin 2. She was in it, but I don't remember the first one.
We love Kim Cattrall here.
Yeah, I have a mannequin on
Absolute
one
icon.
side and a scary witch on the other side. And if you guys could just let me
Yes.
know if this witch gets any closer than it is right now.
Absolutely.
I've
Yes,
been
Kim
keeping an eye on
Cattrall. We
Kim
fucking
Cattrall,
love her. We love her.
Because I'm underage and it was stressful. So many balls, bro. So many balls.
Oh my god!
What
Oh,
the
the new
fuck?
Jackass movie. Oh, I
Jack-
got you. Yeah.
That was a wild autocorrect.
I was like jackals.
Jackals.
Fucking jackal.
I don't know why my brain went to 13 Ghosts and I thought of the jackal. Like,
Yes, Lanessa. That would be why I would watch it.
Kim Cattrall was the bomb back then, man.
Kim Cattrall still looks good. Like,
Yeah.
love her.
what? Oh, this is the beginning. It's starting, guys.
Auntie,
Yeah.
if you end up dying and this becomes unfriended, that's fucking amazing for me and my channel.
That's all I'm here for.
I'm just kidding. I don't want you to die.
Yeah, but it would be awesome though.
But if
Why
you're going to
not?
die,
Views. Guys, share it on Twitter. Let them know
I'm
that the
trying to get-
mannequins
It's
are
a
moving.
live horror movie in
Trying
front
to get
of
those
your
subs
eyes.
pumped up, man. Come on. For real though, she is getting
3K,
closer.
3K.
She's fucking scary. Why do you have her back there? Like, put her away.
No.
Growth. Andy diving in. No! Stop.
No,
It was a
man,
joke. I love Andy.
I'm
I
a
don't want him to die.
I'm a diehard for Sweet and Spooky, so yo, I'm a
Literally.
literal diehard for Sweet and Spooky, so
Oh my god, I love it. Oh my goodness.
Oh no.
Oh my god,
no.
stop!
sorry.
Getting
You can call me something different.
Absolutely. Love
my
it.
bad.
Oh my god.
I'm everyone's dad. I'm sorry. I'm the old dad of this live stream, so I'm
Oh my
super sorry
God.
about that.
We love Andy. D, Are you feeling good? Are you feeling ready to talk about
really
your first favorite subgenre?
I do not feel ready, but here we go.
Let's do it.
You got
So
this,
I'm
Pete.
I'm
starting off
rooting for you.
hot and controversial.
Okay.
Uh,
The Earth is flat. Let me guess.
well, that's not really controversial, is it?
If you want to read a poem to like warm yourself up, that's fine.
We can do the poem later if you want,
Okay.
if that's
Whenever you
okay.
want. It's your poem. Whenever
Sure.
you want.
Okay, so my first genre holds a special place in my heart. It is the cannibal horror movies.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
So first of all, obviously Raw is my favorite horror movie, and it's a
Yes.
cannibal movie. And so my friend showed me that, and it's like kind of what got me into horror. And she was also obsessed with kind of just like gross out cannibal movies, so she showed me all the disgusting stuff. So that's why it's kind of close to my heart, because it's kind of what got me into horror. Even though I don't like any of them near as much as Raw, it's still a subgenre that I find really interesting. I saw a video essay once about like film and food, and they brought up a really interesting point about cannibal movies, how it's like the ultimate forbidden food, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like you can eat anything. I mean, some people are very against eating animals too, but you know, you can eat basically anything other than another human. And so it's kind of this like really disturbing horror, I guess. So to list off some of the movies that I would recommend, first of all, Raw, obviously, classic,
Classic.
new classic,
New classic.
modern classic. Um, the this movie is very controversial, but you can't talk about cannibal movies without it. Cannibal Holocaust.
Mm-hmm.
Also, when I was looking it up, apparently it's considered like one of the first found footage movies too.
Definitely.
Yeah, it is.
So it's really interesting. It, despite being super controversial, it was very impactful in the horror
Yeah.
genre. And then the other one kind of with that usually gets brought up with Cannibal Holocaust is Cannibal Ferox. And that one's interesting. So another older one that is a trauma movie that I really enjoy, but it's just a completely disgusting, gross movie. Most people would probably not like it. It's called Bloodsucking Freaks.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
There's some cannibalism going on in there.
Oh, okay.
Also, my friend was obsessed with this one called Green Inferno, Eli Roth's version. So I'm assuming some of you guys have seen that.
Yes.
It's not really a good movie, but it is a good example of cannibal movies, I would say. I mean, some people might like the movie. I don't know. It's pretty cheesy, but
Yeah, no, I can agree. I can agree with that.
but it's especially a really good example of kind of the original cannibal movies. As pretty problematic as they are in terms of not only their production manners, but also the representation of groups of people. It's very problematic, but I don't know. And then another one that I thought of that might kind of fit into this is I've seen it on Shudder. It's called Are We Not Cats? It's actually really good.
Oh, is it?
And
It's been on my list forever.
yeah, it reminds me a lot of Raw. It's very disgusting, but also very like artsy in how
Okay.
disgusting it is.
Yeah.
But the main premise is that the dude eats hair,
Oh,
and
okay.
I won't really say anything else because I don't want to spoil it. But Yeah, so I feel like that kind of fits in with Cannibal. Even it's not quite a
Mhm.
cannibal movie, but it's cannibal light. And especially because of that scene in Raw where she's like throwing up the hair, I feel
Yeah.
like kind of fits in with that. But those are my ones that I listed. Did anyone have anything to add to that genre?
I didn't. I
Mhm.
do have Raw on one of my lists, but it's under the body horror subgenre for me.
Mm.
I mean, Raw could be so many. It's a part of so many different subgenres, really.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I feel like cannibal film would probably be like a subgenre under body horror, maybe.
Yeah,
Okay.
probably.
Or there's probably a Venn diagram, maybe not under,
Probably.
but
Yeah. Um, yeah, Maya, I feel you. I
Ooh.
cannot watch it solely for that. I saw it
Yeah.
once and was like, no thanks. Um, okay. Um,
Yeah.
oh, Nessa, why are you always so funny? We love Lanessa here, Queen.
Oh no.
Oh my God, I'm
whoops.
so
This is a
sorry.
channel. Ooh.
Sorry, Adam.
Yeah,
My
sorry
bad.
for that, friend. I love that. So, does anyone here have cannibal movies? No.
No.
No? No.
No.
Okay.
I shut down the stream.
That
The
was
only
a great
movie,
like analysis though. Thank you,
Yeah.
D, for
yeah,
that.
yeah. There are some really important movies kind of in that genre that
There
really
is.
they have a bad rap for good reason, and some that just I don't know. I have a like you mentioned Cannibal Pharaoh, and I think Jay mentioned was it Eaten Alive? I had like a
Yes.
DVD box set of a bunch of those movies, and they are really great in a weird, really cheap sort of way. I mean, they're great in a gore sort of way. They're always good for throwing somebody on a stone table and chopping them open and pulling like just plastic guts out of somebody for a bunch of indigenous people to sort of like gnaw on for a while. That was enough for me when I was a teen. That's when I bought all those. I thought they were amazing. But there was one kind of cannibal movie that I really, really liked called Ravenous. Have you ever seen that? It's kind of a cannibal movie. It's also kind of a Wendigo movie,
I
but
haven't
I
seen it.
fucking love that movie. Um, yeah, if you ever get a chance to watch that one, I think you might really enjoy it. It's not very typical cannibal, but it's that is involved in the plot for sure. It's a really really good one, really interesting.
Cool. I'll check it out. Yeah,
Nice.
I feel like it's kind of a not super explored genre outside of that kind of original sense of the genre where it was like white dudes going over to another country and then being slowly eaten.
Right.
Other than like the recent examples of like Raw and Are We Not Cats. And I guess I kind of get it because there's probably not a lot of funding out there for cannibal movies, but I feel like it could be a really interesting genre to explore. Oh, I forgot to mention too, I feel like certain genres also kind of feature cannibalism, especially like zombies.
Mm,
Yeah.
Even though technically they're not human, they were human, and then they're coming back to eat live humans. And kind of, I guess, kind of vampire films too. Although I guess I wouldn't really consider anything that's not a human eating another human, but I guess vampires are kind of the same way as zombies, whereas like they were human and then they get changed into one. So I don't know. I'm done rambling.
I think
I'm done. Mute
the
self.
important part of the cannibal genre is the taboo. It's people
Yeah.
eating people, and which is so disturbing and shocking to everyone. And you're right, like Raw is a great example. Even though that movie just didn't click with me, even though I recognize how well that just what a good movie that must be. It just didn't click with me. But that is a good example of a cannibal movie set in a modern age, and not just like you said, like white people going to a foreign country and then seeing cannibals, which is a really silly kind of representation of people in other countries.
Yeah.
So now that Andy's on, it's your turn, friend.
I thought maybe I just talked over everyone else enough that I wouldn't have to go. No,
No
I'll pick
pressure.
one. I guess I'll start. Like I said, all mine are super duper basic. I hope no one is thinking that I'm gonna go really niche or indie here. Okay.
Okay.
So I'll just start with zombies. Well, and not just zombies, but the undead. Let's call it the undead, because there's some movies on this list that maybe we wouldn't consider zombies. It was kind of my first love in the horror genre, actually, because of Night of the Living Dead. I saw that, like everyone else, you just watch that movie on TV. Like that was just the most watched movie ever on like basic cable. And I was in love with that movie as a young person. I thought it was the best thing ever, and we could watch it all the time. It was just on constantly, so I really loved it. And that kind of got me into the zombie genre. But anyway, yeah. So let me list off my favorite zombie movies. And once again, I love movies that I'm positive I am in are no threat to me. So to Francis's point of being of how effective the home invasion movies are, I am not worried about zombies. I am not prepping for zombies. I do not think it's going to happen.
Oh, one sec. Yes, Maya, we're not doing top 5. We're just discussing our favorite subgenres. You can give yours if you want as well in the chat. Everybody that is new to the chat that just came through, make sure you tell us some of your favorite subgenres and tell us some of your favorite movies from said subgenre. Sorry, I forgot you came in a little late, so wanted to explain. Go ahead. Sorry.
Okie dokie. So zombie movies. Here's my list. Night of the Living Dead that's the top of my list, regardless of genre. I just love that movie. That is a top 5 favorite movie of all time, regardless of genre. I just love it. Zombie movies do the really interesting thing of showing how people react to awful situations. And then the monsters are kind of just on the periphery. It's really about how bad people can be to each other when they're dealing with just terrible situations. I know you guys, some of you are really big fans of like The Walking Dead. I couldn't get past the first season. I not because it's bad, I just couldn't devote any time to it. But I think that's probably a good example where the zombies are sort of just like, it happens to be their zombies, but you're really watching the drama of all these people dealing with a terrible situation. And Night of the Living Dead, I feel like kind of set the standard for that. It shows, how people, all bunkering down together in a terrible situation, react to one another. And of course, we as humans, the living, are our own worst enemies. Night of the Living Dead, just a favorite movie. All the performances are actually really good, all things considered. I mean,
absolutely.
It's incredible. The casting was really wild. Obviously, casting Dwayne Jones in that role as a starring role at the time, 1968. You have a black man as the prominent like character in this story. I think it's pretty easy to say filmmaking was not ready for that at the time. And obviously at the end of that movie, you show we're still not really ready for that. But it's great casting, and he's amazing in it, and all the other. Everyone's great in that movie. I could talk about that movie forever, but what's the point? We've all seen it, and you guys all know why it's really good. My other another favorite of mine in the genre is another real basic one, Zombie. Lucio Fulci's movie Zombie. Mainly because there's a couple of moments of extraordinary gore that are famous at this point. I think you guys all know the scenes. If you've ever seen the movie, you know the scenes I'm talking about. Andy, how did you feel about the Disney musical Zombies?
Oh,
I haven't seen it yet.
Burn it.
I can't.
I haven't seen it.
I can't speak to it.
Once
I'm done watching Encanto 5 times a fucking day, I'll let you know how literally anything else is.
Encanto.
I can't get past it. So, but again,
love for Zombie.
Yeah, Zombie is an amazing movie. The zombie effects in that movie, the gore in that movie, that movie's a classic for a couple of incredibly good reasons. One, there's a couple of amazing kills in the movie that really are unlike anything that any of us have ever seen up until that point.
Mm-hmm.
I can speak to a certain wood into eye gag that if you haven't seen it, check it out. It's one of those scenes where you're really expecting the camera to pull away, and it does not, and instead you see a horrific scene, which again, it's just unheard of in most horror movies. And then it has a whole bunch of other just really classic scenes. You have a zombie underwater fighting a shark. And again, I know this point has been made 1,000 times. People talk about it all the time, but really, it's amazing to watch. I mean, at no point do you think that poor guy is a zombie, but you really do think, holy shit, that poor guy had to go underwater and fight a shark. It's really amazing to watch. The whole movie is just spectacle. I don't know, hard to explain, but I love it. And then by the end of the movie, you literally have really old zombies coming up out of the ground. There's like a conquistador zombie. I mean, there's like really old looking zombies. I think the effects are amazing. And I don't know, that movie is just one of those ones I could watch once a week and I don't get tired of it. So that's why I talk about that when I talk about zombie movies. I also have Return of the Living Dead.
Mm-hmm.
Return of the Living Dead because it succeeds as a zombie movie, but it's also really funny. It's a weirdly really funny movie. It plays with some really bizarre tropes. It throws away a lot of what we knew about zombie movies before that point. These zombies can talk. These zombies don't give a shit about getting their head blown off or whatever. They keep moving on. The zombies are intelligent. The eye scene is amazing. Yeah, it's a classic for a very, very good reason. Jesus. And obviously the Blue Underground Blu-ray that I bought, they put out 3 Blu-rays of that movie, and you could get one with like 3 different covers. And of course I got the one with the eye gouge hologram on the cover. But anyway, back to Return of the Living Dead. Return of the Living Dead. It's funny, it's weird, it's actually kind of oddly subversive. It tells you everything about about zombie movies. It throws it out on its ear and says, nah, zombies can talk and zombies can feel, and there's a reason why zombies do what they do. It's truly bizarre, and a really great cast of a half dog zombie. And it has great characters. It has great signature zombies. The Tar Man zombie from Return of the Living Dead is an amazing effect. Again, if you haven't seen it, and I can't believe anyone on the stream would not have seen it, go watch it. It absolutely rules.
I actually watched it for the first time last night.
Oh, really? Holy
Wait,
shit.
did you actually watch it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, I hope you like
I
it.
tried to watch it and then I fell asleep, so I have no thoughts on this.
Yeah, Celise has a track record of falling asleep through all my favorite movies, so
I'm sorry. That's
It
not
might be
true, though, because you've recommended some bangers to me that I have not fallen asleep to.
Oh, well, speaking of which, one that I recommended to you, which falls firmly into this category, is maybe one of the greatest films ever made, Dead Alive.
Absolutely love it.
And again, this is another one of those movies where I'd be shocked if anyone on the stream, whether us or any of the people watching it, have never seen the movie. It's infamous for a very good reason. I rented that movie when I was a wee lad, only because it was unrated and it was said that it was one of those things where it was like, this is the most extreme scary or zombie movie you've ever seen. And I was like, well, then I must watch it. And so I rented that, sat around with some friends and watched it, and it was just the best experience ever. And Celise, when I recommended this movie to her, she watched it and she made me realize that there's actually an incredible love story in this movie.
Yeah,
I stand by it. Well, you really pointed out how important the character of Paquita is in that film.
She is the one who gets shit done.
She really is, and they're a power couple because
absolutely
it's a very unlikely couple. You look at that guy and you look at her and you're like, why would this ever happen? Hey, thank God for tarot cards, because apparently they can get a relationship going where otherwise there wouldn't be. But she really is not a wilting damsel in that story. She she kicks ass.
She's a spooky bad bitch for sure.
She is. She really kicks so much ass.
She does.
And
She's the
and
best.
she's there. She stands by her man till the very end. And between the two of them, they have just a classic showdown, amazing kick-ass moments. It is one of the best. I think it's one of the best movies ever made, actually. And I
I
don't say
am
that.
gonna agree with you though.
I don't say that. Yeah, I don't say that ironically. I mean, I'm saying like everyone should watch that movie. It's the movie that I keep saying like I wish this played at drive-ins. I wish this got the play that like Rocky Horror got when people would like dress up in character and shout lines at the stage.
Yeah.
It's the most quotable movie I've ever even heard of.
It's really great.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's again, it's one of the best movies ever. Just go watch it and watch
It's
the unrated
actually-
version. The
Oh
only problem is
yeah.
the only
I kick
problem is you
ass for
can't.
the Lord.
Yeah, the only problem is you can't find it anywhere.
It's on
I'm looking
YouTube.
I know it is on YouTube, but
Okay.
shush, it may not be anymore. Who knows?
I didn't know
Right?
it was because when I watched it was not.
It's on there. I watched it last night as well. I had like a double feature back to back.
Oh, wait, you
it's still on
watched
there,
it?
guys.
Holy
Girl,
shit!
I've been
That's an
asking you to
incredible
watch that
double feature.
forever. She was on it. She was prepped. She was ready.
Damn.
She
But
was
yeah,
like,
it
I'm
is
gonna watch
amazing.
all the movies I know Andy's gonna talk about.
No, because I too had the zombie thing, and I'm like, I kind of want to, beef up that section. I want to finally watch all this list that I had.
Nice.
Yeah, no. The zombie genre can be very stale, especially after I don't know. There was a certain period where everything was zombie, and I really fell off. I could not care less about all the zombies that were made after the sort of Dawn of the Dead remake. I feel like they really went overboard, and I totally fell off the boat. But I think Dead Alive is a great example of how to make that movie interesting, how to make that idea interesting. So
fun.
yeah, it's the best. It's another one. It's like there's no point going on about it. It's just one of the best movies ever. And if you're not watching it, you're crazy. So
Big statements.
Night of the Living Dead, Zombie, Return of the Living Dead, Dead Alive, and the other one I was going to bring up, and this one's a little bit different because it's not zombie as much as it is just the I don't know, the Return to Dead is I want to talk about. I put it in the category Reanimator. My subgenres are all over the place. I really looked at them very differently than maybe I think you would otherwise. But Reanimator is definitely about things having come back from the dead. And Reanimator is a great example of how to have a lot of fun. It was the first example I had ever heard of having of really having fun with Lovecraft, having a totally bizarre spin on his material and making a really fun, entertaining movie out of it. It's got incredible gore effects. It's got one of my favorite actors of all time. Fucking Jesus, Jeffrey Combs. Holy shit, I almost forgot his name.
Who you're gonna meet?
I'm absolutely gonna meet. There's a horror convention next
We're
month.
both gonna meet him soon.
Yeah, and he is going to be there with Barbara Crampton. So it'll just be about impossible for me not to show up without my Reanimator Blu-ray for them to sign from Arrow. But yeah, I love him so much. I wish he could be in everything he makes. He is just that kind of spice that you add to a recipe that makes a movie better. But yeah, Reanimator is just an incredible. That movie is just over the top performances left and right. Incredible again. Great big rubbery gore effects that were the staple of their time. And I just love that movie to bits and pieces.
Is this question? Sorry, Andy. Is this question
Sure.
about Dead Alive? I think it is.
Well, the Blu-ray Dead Alive is definitely out of print. You can get a Reanimator for sure.
Yeah, I think this is about Dead Alive. It was a little earlier.
Sure. Yeah. No, everything Dead Alive is out of print, and Peter Jackson had planned to put out. He was going to do a restored release of Dead Alive, I think, and then I think Meet the Feebles and
Cursed
what's
fucking
the other
movie.
one that he did. It's just out of my brain right now.
Meet the Feebles.
Meet the Feebles, and what's the other one?
Oh, Bad Taste.
Bad Taste. Jesus, thank you. Yeah, he was going to release all three of those newly restored Blu-ray footage. boy, as soon as that happens, I'm the first in line. But from what he said that I'd read on fairly reputable websites, he was all set to do that project, and then he got involved in his Beatles documentary. But now that that's done, supposedly he's back to work, trying to get those movies reprinted. So again, the Dead Alive has just been impossible to find. I bought it on DVD 1,000 years ago, and I luckily have been able to hold on to it and keep it in one piece all this time, because otherwise, they are super duper hard to find. And I never had a copy of the Blu-ray. So,
what are your thoughts on The Walking Dead? I think that's for you, Andy.
I don't. I mean, I know why that was so popular. Obviously, like I said, I mean, zombie movies are just only barely about the zombies. Zombies only serve to give us really cool special effects. Other than that, as a good zombie movie should be all about the people that are trying to survive. George Romero movies, I think, prove the point that a zombie movie is about people and just how awful we are to each other. I don't think anyone's pointed it out better than him. And I think the Walking Dead series was probably inspired by what Romero had started. I watched the first season. I thought it was really interesting. I have a bad track record with long series. I just can't stick with it. So I'm sure it's good, but I just can't. There's other people on this stream, though, however, who are very, very much into it.
I am not. I used to be, and then it took me out. Oh no, it's
we
getting
kind of went through
rough.
We went through that phase together, and we dropped out pretty much at like around the same
did.
point, because we used to get together and watch it every Sunday.
Yeah, like that was our thing. But then it kind of went downhill for me.
It did, and now they have like a million things and spin-offs and all this other stuff stemming
It's too
from it.
much. Like I feel like it should have been a limited series, and that's it. I don't think it needed all this. It's like doing way too much. I love that for you, Maya. Supernatural is fun. Faves include Sinister, Oculus, The Ring, Paranormal Activity. Those are good. I love those. Oh, love the love for Barbara. She is super gorgeous. Oh, nice. Ooh. I would love to get it in Blu-ray. I'm jealous. Yeah. I think that's for you, Andy. You're a popular man.
When you meet Combs, can you voice my displeasure in destroying the defiant and trying to kill Siska? Sure. I don't know any of those. I don't know what any of those words mean, but I'll say things that you tell me to say. Listen, just give me a little. Do what everyone else does. Write it out on a little index card, pin it to my shirt, and I will walk up to him and say whatever you want. I don't care. I'm super easy like that.
Oh, that's awesome, Maya. Cool.
Wow.
Awesome. Nice. I'm assuming this is about The Walking Dead. Sorry, I'm slow, you guys.
I do have two, like, I mean, that's all of my zombie movies, but I do, because I won't get into these, but I do have two sort of like honorary mentions. If you've never seen them, and you really do love this style movie, The Tombs of the Blind Dead was a whole series, kind of Spanish. I think they're like Spanish horror movies, about like ancient dead Templar zombies who rise from the grave for some silly reason. Really fun, actually. I love the way the zombie looks in that movie. And then the other one that I would recommend, that I would have put on my list if it was possible to watch this anywhere, but it's Cemetery Man. If you've never seen it, it's an incredible movie. I watched it a lot years and years and years ago when it was on video, when it was on VHS, but it's very hard to find on DVD and Blu-ray now. It is an amazing movie. Cemetery Man is one of my favorites. And again, I would have talked about it a lot more if I had a copy to watch more recently. It's actually a Michele Soave movie. Because we talk about like stage fright. It's one of his movies that he did. I think one of the last movies that he did. So again, it's amazing, but it's hard to find. So I can't necessarily recommend it the same way I would the other ones.
Nice. Is that all your zombie movies?
That's it. That's all the zombie movies. I promise.
I know. I was expecting like 10 more.
I tried to keep it to 5, and then I snuck 2 extra in there. Yeah. Little Peter.
There's a lot. Oh, I don't really like zombie movies, but I love Shaun of the Dead.
Shaun of the
So,
Dead. Oh my god, we talked about this yeah, it was fairly recently on the Discord. Like Shaun of the Dead and Hot
mhm.
Fuzz when we were at peak like free time. I think my wife and I watched that movie. We watched those two movies like once a week. They're the most imminently rewatchable movies I have
They
ever
so
heard of.
are.
They're incredible.
Yeah,
And
we
Shaun of the
love
Dead,
Edgar Wright.
I saw Shaun of the Dead in theaters, and we didn't know anything about Edgar Wright, so we didn't know he was just going to reference the shit out of all the George Romero movies. So
Yeah,
I went and saw that with a couple of my goofy horror friends, and we were just pointing at the screen saying, "Holy shit, that's from Night, that's from the whole movie." We were just like pointing out the references that I think half the theater didn't understand. But God, that was, like I said, the Rocco. That was the best movie going experience I think of my life. It was so good.
yeah, Edgar Wright is very talented man. Oh, I have not seen this one, Jay.
Oh, I watched that like a while ago. That was when I
I
was
don't
going
think
through
I've
like
seen
my
it.
severe zombie craze. I
We
watched
all
all
went
of
through
them. I
that
binged
though, you
through
know?
all of them.
There was a time where it was just nothing but zombies. That's kind
Yeah.
of why it got so
It was like
oversaturated
in
for
that
me.
mid, like early 2010-ish, late 2000s kind of
Yeah.
weird zone. And then The Walking Dead only pushed it further because then everybody wanted to have like a zombie masterpiece or like they wanted to keep doing that.
Mm. You have to see the Evil Dead remake. It's very good, Maya. Really recommend.
Did you talk about Train to Busan?
No, I
Oh my
Train to
didn't.
God.
Busan.
Yes.
I love
I
Train
have
to
that one on my
Busan.
list. Yeah. That
It's a
one's
really good
really
one.
good.
I
It's
love
a really good
I've
zombies
one.
too.
never seen
That
it,
one I
sadly.
feel like was the first one in a while that actually made me kind of get interest once again in the whole zombie subgenre out of all the newer stuff that has come out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
It's
super
a good
good.
one.
Mhm.
Zombieland is
Oh
not really for
God.
me. I know a lot of people really love this one. It's not really for me though.
I don't know. I haven't watched it in a while, so I don't know if I would like it as much as I did when I was in high school. Probably not, but
Yeah.
Yeah. We loved that movie when it first came out. It was the best.
yeah.
It was the best opening to a movie I think I'd ever seen. But I like the whole thing. So
Joni, you feeling ready to talk about yours?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you're freezing a little, but I can hear you.
Okay, so about zombies, I have those two, and I just have to say I'm terrified of zombies. So, no, no, no. I'm running. I'm out. No walking corpses for me. So, I also got horror comedy. That's what I love.
Oh, I love that.
Go
It's
on.
great. Go on. I love horror comedy. Joni is the
I
king.
mean,
We
horror
love
and
Joni.
comedy. Thank you. Horror and comedy are two opposite. So it's like opposite attraction. Both genres are trying to get an instant reaction from the audience. And when you combine those two, it's like it's a party for me, really. I like dark humor. You know me, my sense of humor can be pretty dark. So yeah, I like a joke that maybe you weren't supposed to be laughing at because it's too mean. So this is my kind of humor there, like a South Park thing. And I won't want to apologize for it. Sorry.
That's
Um,
fine.
but yeah, I think it's genius, honestly, because when we watch like B movies, when we watch something like what do we watch? Was that thing the Basket Case? So it's a
Basket
movie
case.
that you laugh. Yeah, you laugh because it's dumb, not because it's smart. And I like to laugh with the movie, not at it. So if you want to be funny, be smart, not dumb. This is what I like. I like a quality comedy in horror. Not this is dumb, so I'm gonna laugh at it. No, I like something like Happy Death Day, Tucker and Dale Against Evil, Feast, The Final Girls, Victor Crowley, things with good jokes. Club Dread, I'll defend it. Sorry, not sorry. So, horror comedies are really my thing. I love to laugh from other people's disgrace, you know? The more shitty it gets to them, the
You're
better it
dark.
gets to me. Yeah, but it's dark. That's why I
I'm
love it.
kidding. I love you.
I mean, come on. Can it be better than that?
No, I get you.
So what do
Great.
you guys
So
think?
you've got I'm sorry, Happy Death Day, The Final Girls.
Mm-hmm. I
Uh
got
what was
a
the other?
bunch
Freaky?
of freaky, yeah, as well. Brilliant one. Tucker and Dale Against Evil,
Okay, that one's
Feast,
good.
Victor Crowley, Club Dread, Shaun of the Dead. Put it there too. Fright
Yeah,
Night.
definitely.
Love it.
Those are all really fun. I love a good horror comedy. I agree. You're spitting the facts, as Jay just said here. I know, Lanessa, Joni. Oh, it's Andy. Yeah, Andy probably he died. Up here, Joni. Yeah, Joni did have some lag there.
Sorry for the lag. Get used to it.
Joni has the lag curse anytime he's on my streams. Yeah, everyone can agree about horror comedy. Does anyone else here have horror comedy down?
I do not have.
I do, but I have it coming from another angle. So
Ooh.
I
Okay.
once I talk I have nothing to add to Joni's.
Okay. Are you
But
sure?
I totally see what you're saying, but I come at it from the laughing at the movie.
I feel like there's all different kinds. 'Cause I feel like there's some that you can laugh with it, and then there's some that's like clearly you laugh at it.
Oh yeah.
I feel like
You
it
know?
I
also
love both.
factors in.
I love both also. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna
It
lie.
honestly factors into as like the individual's like humor too, like what makes people laugh
Yeah.
and which ones really kick off. Because like some of them are rough.
Yeah, for real. All good. I love those, Lanessa.
Ooh.
Haven't seen Troll Hunter or The Cottage though. But the others I love.
Mm,
Somebody said ready or not. Yes. Thank you.
that one's good.
Yeah. Ready or Not is great. House.
Is
The
that
Japanese? The Japanese one?
There's two. There's that one and
Oh, there is another one from like the 80s, right?
yeah.
Right. I don't know which one. Mm. I love how much Lanessa comes for you, Andy. It's really
There
the
was
moment.
there was legitimately noises coming from upstairs that scared the shit out of me when you I forgot, but yeah, there's noises. Okay, trust me. Yeah, I'm
There's a
sure
lot
there's
going on
nothing.
for Andy.
I'm sure there's nothing going on. I'm sure it's totally fine.
Cool. I'll check that one out. I haven't seen it. Okay. Cool. Melissa, we're at you now.
Ooh, okay. Oh my god, I don't know where to start. I was gonna
Wherever
start
you
with
want.
zombies, but we got that covered. I have a proposal. Do you want to tackle on the next one together? Because I'm pretty sure we both have the same things with most likely the same movies.
Of course, sure.
Two have the
Is
same
it
brain.
is it what I think it is? It French extremity? Okay. Yeah, let's talk about
This
that.
is all flipped. Let's go.
Let's do it.
All right. On my list, it's probably one of my top subgenres that I didn't really get too much into probably till like the past year or two, kind of. Delve in the genre that broke me. I feel like ever since then I'm not really phased by much, honestly. Oh my god, I'm so bad at these. I had a whole thing right now and I'm like
Wait, you're not
I don't
bad at
know.
it. It's fine.
I feel like with French extremism, like they kind of really do have a way, depending on who directs it, of course, like they have a way of really pushing you. I am sorry, I keep freezing up. I'm sorry.
You're fine.
I'm having a moment. I don't know what's happening. I'm sorry.
You don't need to say sorry. It's fine. Take your time. If you want, I can talk about some of mine and then we can go like that.
Yeah, I'll like hop in. I don't know why the heck I just like
You're fine. Okay, yeah. So with French Extremity, I'm fairly new to it also. Melissa and I kind of tackled this together. Sorry.
Yeah, she's taking it
I
easy.
really love her so much. Lanessa, you're so great. Yeah, we kind of tackled this together. Mainly because I guess we were both kind of scared to delve into this.
Yeah, I mean, this was
Uh,
like we kind of unintentionally fell down the French extremity spiral
right.
because we were just like, we're gonna watch disturbing movies and we're gonna
Right.
start with the French ones and then get to the more messed up shit. And we just kept on going from there. And then we both kind of like really stuck with this one, honestly. I don't even think we continued down the other list of other disturbing movies we had.
Yeah, so I can't remember which one we watched first. I don't know if it was Martyrs or Inside. I feel like we watched Inside first and tried to like
Yeah.
kind of slowly get to Martyrs because we heard so much about it. But I know that for me, I mean, I have Martyrs down as well, but for me, I leaned more towards Inside because it scared me a bit more than Martyrs. But Martyrs is one of those movies that it really makes you face a lot of your own inner demons and trauma and stuff. And that director, who I could never say his name, he's just really good at handling trauma and showing the effects of trauma. So it's dark. It's not something that I think I can watch all the time. But I know Melissa connected with Martyrs a bit more than me. If you want to talk.
I did. I honestly feel like that's the first one that kind of really pushed me to like a whole different area of my head that it's like it did take me a couple of days to come back from that. I don't know. Something about it just kind of took me to like a really dark place. Like, and it wasn't just even like the gore and all of that. Like that didn't like faze me as much, but I feel like it was such a heavy and like dark movie. And like there were like a lot of really dark emotions into it. And I don't know, it just fills you kind of like with a lot of like despair. Like that movie will leave you feeling completely hopeless and like lost. Like there's no happy ending. Like there's nothing. There's no light at the end of the tunnel. There's like nothing positive. Like it's just suffering. But it's like I feel like I like that about French Extremity that it's like they really tap more into like the more emotional and psychological side of things. Oh my god. I'm sorry. That's what it is. I'm sorry, Lanessa. It's just like these comments. I can't.
It's Lanessa. Lanessa,
It
I
makes
think
me
you need
blush.
to
I'm
look
sorry.
away, girly.
I'm
Look
just gonna
away.
like I'm gonna talk to Michael. Hi, how are you? You're doing great. You're just vibing.
You're doing great, sweetie.
You're doing great.
No, you're doing great, Melissa.
I don't know. I'm never usually. I don't know. I'm like stumbling on my words today.
Girl, you need a drink.
I do. I can't. I have like a weird core in the back of my mouth, so it would probably hurt worse. But
Oh, that's right. I feel bad. I'm sorry.
that too. It's like, oh, am I overthinking
You're
it?
Yeah. No, go ahead.
But yeah. I don't know. I guess that's my weak spot with horror movies. Like when it really takes you there psychologically, it's not just like the gore. Like if it's a movie that can mentally fuck me up, I will be gone. Will I ever watch it again? Probably, because apparently I hate myself that much because I watched Martyrs and like I watched it again 2 weeks afterwards and I'm like, instant depression. Here we go again. Why did I do that to myself? I don't know.
Well, maybe in a way you resonate with the movie and that's why you keep going back to it.
Yeah. I can't pinpoint what it is, but it's like, man, I don't know. It's just I like a movie and like with anything in general, music and whatnot. I like things that can like really make me feel strong emotions. And I feel like that one really pushed me there. And like ever since then, it's just been a journey to find another one that will make me feel that hard like ever again. And I'm just really broken after that. And I'm not fazed by much. And it's kind of scary sometimes.
Yeah, I think so. You felt like that with Martyrs, and there's another one we watched together, which actually made me feel the way Melissa feels with Martyrs, and it's called In My Skin. And that one, if you're gonna watch that one, trigger warning for like self-harm and
that's
a lot of
it's not
very dark things. But that movie definitely left me feeling super empty. Like, oh wow, there's like nothing to live for. Like,
it
because
really
it hit really close to home if you have struggled with a lot of depression. But it was very well done. This actress she's the lead actress. She wrote it, she directed it,
yeah.
and she's so good. Like it's so clear that it's such a personal piece. And that's the thing with a lot of the French extremity movies. A lot of them feel really personal, and I think that's why a lot of people can relate to them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we banged that out. French extremity.
They're definitely not easy to watch, but it's if you can handle it and ease your way into it, it's definitely worth a watch.
Yeah,
For a lot
but
of those that have
definitely
that,
they are dark.
Yeah. You get Just make sure you're not already in a bad spot. Don't do that to yourself, please.
Yeah.
So I had no idea that this genre existed, but I was looking it up, and for one, I saw Raw listed as one.
Yeah.
Raw can
I guess
count.
Is Raw
As
just
well
under
as
every
Titan.
genre?
Raw fits
Yeah.
so many genres.
It does.
Yeah. And
But
Titan also
this
kept popping up
genre,
there.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
this genre sounds like right up my alley. So I'm definitely gonna be hitting you guys up for recommendations.
Yeah.
It's a lot of like psychological and like human suffering, which sounds really freaking depressing, but they're so well written. Like,
Yeah.
and it's
In my
like
skin tone, I can recommend.
not to be compared with torture porn, not to bash on that, because I know you can see similarities. Like a lot of these people are being like, their bodies are being put through like some crazy beyond their limits kind of thing on a lot of these. But I don't know. It's just like, to me, when it comes to like torture porn, maybe this is why I have nothing against like Saw and Hostel. Like, there'll be like guilty pleasures every now and then, depending on how I feel. But I feel like there's something about the storytelling in French extremities that really just kind of like one ups it. Whereas I feel like a lot of torture porn falls flat, and it's like, yeah, we have like all this extreme shit going on and blood, guts, and like cool effects, and that's cool and all. But I don't know. I'm more of a story gal, and I feel like a lot of them kind of fall short on that sometimes. Which is just my opinion. Agree to disagree. Like, by all means, like, no disrespect to that subgenre, because I know there are some influences like mixed here and there between both.
Yeah. No, I feel the same about those kinds of movies, so I can agree with you. Great. Does anyone else have French extremity? No.
I never know what that means when you guys talk about it.
I just love how everybody is so quiet and they're like,
Freaks.
The only
Kidding.
reason I didn't put French extremity in my list is because they're, to me at least, they're very close to exploitation horror films. You know, the I Spit on Your Grave kind of crew. So I'm a little distant from those movies. When I watch them, I have to be psychologically well to endure the torture. So it's not something I sit down in my house. It's Sunday. I want to watch Martyrs. No, that's not gonna happen.
well, yeah, that's kind of what we're
list.
saying. It's not for everyone, especially if you're not in a good mental state.
It's one of those things. It's like Requiem for a Dream. Watch it once, we'll probably not want to watch it for a long time, because it's like, it's a very good and well written movie, but it's so depressing and real, and it's so like, it's a lot. And it's like, if you're in a fragile headspace, it's not the best thing to watch.
Right.
That's the thing. When it's good, it's really good. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Right. I think the only one that I didn't really like, I don't even know. There was some that we didn't really like. I think Melissa and I both watched them. High tension, hot tension. High tension.
It wasn't bad, but I just didn't feel that connection that I felt emotionally with other French extremities that we have watched.
Right. Yeah, it didn't do much for me. Like the twist was a little like, wow, didn't see that coming.
The gore and stuff was cool.
It was like, I saw that coming.
Coloring. It has like that early 2000s coloring that we're just like,
yeah, the coloring is great. The movie looks great, and the acting is great. They're really great. But yeah, that one didn't do too much for me. And then I think there was another one, which I think this one was a bit worse than High Tension. High Tension is actually good.
I know exactly
Oh
what
my
it's
god,
called.
what was it called?
Frontiers.
Frontiers, yeah.
That one really disappointed me, honestly. Ugh.
Yeah, that was really
Because
disappointing.
I read the synopsis and I'm like, oh my god, this is it. This is gonna be my next Martyrs. This is gonna destroy me, and I'm gonna love every second of it. And then I watched it and I'm just like, you guys set up like a good story, like what do you call it? Like a good basic plot for it, and then what was delivered, a lot of it just didn't make sense.
Mhm.
There was like a lot of plot holes and a lot of things that don't add up with it. I don't know. It was just very anticlimactic.
Oh my god, completely. It was very underwhelming.
There,
I was
like every now and then,
okay.
it's like, ooh, crazy kill. There's some
Yeah.
blood and guts here.
That
And then
was
it's
one
like,
of the most
okay.
frustrating movies I ever seen. It was like, oh cool,
And
some
it
crazy
makes me
stuff is gonna
mad
happen.
because again,
Yeah.
it had such a good basic plot. Like they could have made something so cool with that,
I agree.
and they didn't.
Jay, I agree. The ending is, yeah, it's like, okay, how? Okay. Pretty basic too. Like
It
just
was a
that
common
twist of
twist at the
like,
time.
oh,
Yeah,
whoa, she's crazy. Yeah, it's like she's the one who did it all along. Haven't seen that before.
she was the creepy old guy.
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
Um,
She pictures herself as a creepy old crusty guy.
Frontiers, yeah. Glad you can agree. Okay, we have a question.
I mean, my answer to that would be yes, but we
Such an
won't know
Andy
it until.
question.
Yeah, but we won't know it until it's too late. I don't think
Yeah.
we really appreciated, or maybe we did. I don't know. I was one of the few people who was there, probably, but it just feels like you never really appreciate a whole block of people like that, filmmakers like that,
Yeah.
until a couple of decades later, and you look back, it's like, boy, those were the days, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I
But
mean,
then again, I guess that's not technically accurate, because I think the Craven movies were really, really successful and really effective at their time.
Yeah.
Carpenter's the one that, for whatever reason, we keep missing him when he puts a movie out, and then like years later, we come back and realize that he's
Yeah.
a genius.
I'm gonna
Ooh.
have to agree with Jay. Yeah, I think Mike Flanagan is definitely the closest at the
He has
moment.
like such a new, fresh way of writing ghost stories. Like
He does.
they're not just there for like fear and just to like scare you. Like you get deeper and more emotional connections with these characters.
Definitely. He's also really good at just like talking about grief and things like that. He's so good at that.
I feel like we have a lot of really good. Oh yeah, she's mentioning Flanagan, Peel.
Yeah.
Yes,
I
definitely.
can't think of the other two guys, but they are both A24 guys. The
Ari
guy who
Aster?
did Ari Aster, and then the guy who did The Witch and The
Eggers.
Lighthouse.
Oh, Eggers, yeah.
You've got both of those guys. I mean, I feel like all four of those are doing really interesting
Definitely.
stuff that's also really
Yeah.
popular. Like
Yeah.
Julia Dockernow is awesome, but
Oh my
definitely
God.
not a mainstream filmmaker.
Yeah.
But I mean, Jordan Peele is
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
massive. Everyone
We
knows.
need
Get
Julia
Out.
Docker now to be mainstream.
We do.
Come on. She's doing it, baby. She's telling
Wait,
stories
did
for
you
girls.
So
there was a comment from Vanessa earlier, and I can't remember if we saw it. It was about Titan.
Oh.
If you scroll up, it's just gold.
Where is it? In the chat?
It was like, yeah. It's right above, where Bloodbath was like about high tension.
Oh my god.
That just sent me. I'm sorry. I'm like, wait, did we
Vanessa, get out. Get out, Vanessa.
someone needs to do a deep fake of that.
Oh my god, that would
Oh
be
my
amazing.
Wait, he's in the same car show? Like his car is like next to hers.
Oh.
That's great, actually. I'm a huge fan of those guys right now. I've just been going back and watching all of their movies, and they are so up my alley.
Very Andy.
Yeah, I just watched Spring the other day. God, that movie's amazing.
Definitely Argento and Cronenberg.
Ooh, yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, I guess the difference is like I get years ago we didn't really know who was great and who was putting out the amazing movies at the time. I think now we probably have a better idea because it's so easy to talk about these things. Years ago, we didn't have the ability to all get together and talk about how, you know, who we loved as far as directors were and what was a cult movie. Nowadays, I don't know how you could have a cult movie because everyone's talking about everything as soon as it comes out. Just because we have the ability to do that now as a community. So yeah, everyone that everyone named is fucking for sure. You're right as far as like the new great horror movie creators.
So valid, Maya. James Wan and
And
Lee
James
Winnell
Wan, yeah.
definitely count. Yeah. Love that. I love how many you guys are listing.
Yep.
Definitely. (2010s). Yeah, that was a pretty solid time.
It's that whole somebody else mentioned A24, but yeah, I mean,
I think
A24 has
odd
done
people are
so much for horror in the past.
suggesting they know how old I am.
Okay, so Melissa and I talked about French extremity. I'm gonna go to Francis.
So, my next one would have been zombie horror. I do have quite a lot of thoughts, but because we've talked about it, I can skip that if you would like.
You said zombie
Yeah.
movies? Yeah, you can go. You can say
Put in
whatever you
your
want.
thoughts for sure.
Yeah,
So,
you don't gotta skip it.
of course, Andy said a lot of stuff that I agree with a lot, but I think there's two key parts to zombie horror, really apocalyptic horror in general, that I think make it so appealing. The first being that, like Andy talked about a lot, we get to sort of raw and authentically explore who we are as a human race, and when we're outside the confines of a society, how we interact with one another. And I think that naturally invites such interesting character interactions that you can't get in any genre, any film set within society. So I think there's something really neat that I talked about, but also there is this, we sort of live through the characters in a survival fantasy, because we're constantly questioning what would we do in a zombie apocalypse? Where would we go? How would we survive? Would we survive? And I think there is this real um, people tend to joke about like how a zombie apocalypse would be fun, and I think there's a really fundamental element of the success of the zombie genre in this sort of survival fantasy element, and it's also one of the most diverse genres because you've got your comedies like Shaun of the Dead, Zombieland, Return of the Living Dead. You've got ones that have heavy social commentary at their core. Romero, maybe not heavy commentary, but Romero was always big on social commentary. You have your splatter films with very gory zombie effects. You've got the ones that lean more into the drama. Um, You've even got cannibal tropes in horror. You tend to always in zombie horror. Sorry, you tend to have cannibal storylines quite a lot, and then you've got ones that just play it straight. So, yeah, I think the zombie genre is there's a lot more to it than it's given credit for. Partly because I sort of consider myself like a concept fan of zombies, who's endlessly disappointed in the material because there is a lot of zombie material that isn't what it could be. But yeah, I think as Andy said, Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, are very staples basically. Night of the Living Dead introduced us to this new idea and started this survival fantasy of what would we do. Dawn of the Dead introduces more of this human on human dynamic. And then I think 28 Days Later is interesting as well. Not only is it fucking amazing, but by now we sort of know what zombies are. Zombies are, we're well accustomed to them. We've already done the survival fantasy. Now we know where we'd go. We've thought about all that. 28 Days Later is very different. It places you in London. We wake up into the world. The zombies are fast. They're aggressive. It's a lot more intense, and so it now we revitalize this survival fantasy, and we now thinking from scratch basically how to survive, what we would do, because this type of zombie apocalypse is so different. So I think that's very interesting. And then you have, of course, we could not talk about The Walking Dead. It is a massive part of pop culture, or was. And The Walking Dead in this 2010s then usher in an era of zombie media, which is much more drama focused, and it's more about very interpersonal character, emotional sort of relationships. I don't know if you saw. I think it's called Cargo, with Martin Freeman, from like 2017 or something. I love that film. That's a zombie. I don't know if they're technically zombies. It's been a while since I saw it, but they're basically zombie. Like that's a very emotionally driven story. You had like the Last of Us game. That was a very emotionally driven story. So I think you have this new sort of era where it's more about the drama and the emotion. So yeah, that was my rambling about the zombie genre. I hope you got something out of that.
No, that was good. That was really good analysis of the zombie genre. You guys are coming through. Love that. Does anyone else have the zombie genre? Melissa, did you speak on that when Andy was?
I had a lot of similar movies, but I feel like I didn't go too into it. But I kind of like agree. Like I feel like there's so many things that like have been done, and so many like different areas that have been explored. Like there's such a wide a range of like different types of zombie movies out there. Like, but like how Francis was saying, like The Walking Dead really pushed more back into like the whole drama and more like human, like how we react more towards one another in that kind of situation when it comes down to survival. And it really just shows off like just how nasty people are to each other, you know. And then I feel like I want to say maybe like in the 80s, like with Return of the Living Dead, you know, they got a little more goofy. They started having like more fun with it. Like I don't know. I like little aspects of everything. I like a lot of the comedy stuff too with the zombies. Like those can get really fun. I know around the same time with The Walking Dead, Sci-Fi did like their own zombie show. And first I'm like, oh, this is gonna be so stupid, which it was, but it became a guilty pleasure. And like there were a lot of genuinely like funny moments in that. It was called Z Nation. I don't know if any of you guys have ever watched that. It's a fun show. Like go in with like no expectations of anything like crazy serious or like serious dramatic Walking Dead level, but it's just a fun show for like kicks and giggles every now and then. Um, let's see what else I got. I also had yeah, most of these movies we've covered. I like a lot of the really bad, goofy ones. I can't deny. I have a soft spot for it. Like, there's this really bad one that was called Dance of the Dead, and it's like by no means a good movie, but at one point it was my comfort movies because I was really fucking scared of zombies for a while. Because I'm like, oh my god, if this happens with that Florida man in 2011 that ate the guy's face, I'm like, I'm not ready for this. And that was like at the peak of my zombie fear. And then I got into like all these goofier zombie movies, like Dance of the Dead being one of them. And I'm like, okay, this isn't that bad. So I'm kind of like trying to go on more like the comedy kind of side of it. But yeah, overall, like there's a lot to be explored. It's a very broad. There's a lot of stuff that can be done within. Like, unfortunately, not with all of them. They do it too well. Like, I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, World War Z" when that came out, and I remember I was like one of the few people that were like, "This is stupid." And I literally wrote my whole own like zombie survival guide. And I'm like, this movie makes no sense. They would not cure this shit that fast. Have you seen what's? You seen The World Now? That movie's unrealistic, and I rest my case.
I was scared.
I think something that the original Walking Dead spin-off, Fear the Walking Dead, tried to do was depict the begin, because Walking Dead and 28 Days Later, which coincidentally the comic came out like right around the same time, and they both have the same setup, right? He wakes up like a month or two in the between those two. The main character wakes up, so you skip the downfall of society. But I think zombie media tends to take that shortcut because it's kind of hard to believe that society would fall. But Fear the Walking Dead tried to do it. The execution was sloppy, but tried to explore realistic downfall of society. And I think with the past 2 years we've had in the world, we've seen sort of what a pandemic in the modern era could look like. I'm I'm begging someone to use that and really find something in there because I think we have as well equipped as we'll ever be to write an authentic story about the downfall of society in a zombie story, if that happens.
Yeah. How do you feel about zombies like the ones in Resident Evil? I have no thoughts.
You
I
see,
love
that
the
kind of
game.
scares me. Like great games. The movies, I can't say I've seen all the ones with Mila, but I did watch the Welcome to Raccoon City, and that was an experience. He take that with a grain of salt. I don't know. That freaks me out because the whole thing is the whole reasoning behind it is like people just messing around. Like people, they have access to all these resources, and instead of curing diseases and like doing helpful shit, they're like, you know what? Oops, here you go. Bring people back to life. Craving brains. Like, yeah, no, it's not. And that freaks me out. I think that's the aspect that always freaked me out. It's like people have too much free time, and sometimes the wrong people have access to the right tools to just create a whole disaster. And I don't trust that.
I am
God,
terrified
yeah,
of Resident
love it.
Evil. Terrified. I don't mess with it. Mm-mm.
Okay, so did anyone else have zombies? Are we done with zombies?
I prefer slow to answer the question.
Yeah, same. At least I'll have probably a better chance at actually
Right. Fast
shooting
is
them.
too
If they're
scary.
fast, nope.
Way too scary.
Oh my god, if they're like the World War Z fast, no. Burn them with
Those are pretty
fire.
fucking scary, to
No.
be honest.
When they just like
Mhm.
climb on top of each other, I'm like, yeah, no, I'm good. We're good. We don't need that.
I
So,
think
okay. Oh, I'm sorry.
I think I like the slow ones too because I'm more of a fan of the normal people zombie scenario versus the like really like militaristic zombie
Ooh,
movie.
more
And
weaponized.
Honestly, same though.
yeah, and I feel like the military ones are usually like the very fast moving, very action heavy, whereas the slower ones are usually like because then normal people actually have a chance at surviving. Although Train to Busan is kind of a mix because
Oh,
those
yeah.
zombies are terrifying and then it's like normal people. So, anyways.
Anyways, muted. Okay, so before we move on to where are we at? We're at D, right? Okay, before we move on to D, I need to do a pee break.
Pee break.
Melissa can hold down the
Same
chat.
here.
She's the best. Melissa, hold that
Pee
down.
break.
I'm
Hold
gonna
up.
race. I'm gonna race sillies.
Same.
Let's see who will get here first. Oh, okay. And then there were three. All right. Small pressure.
And then there were three. Oh.
That's quite creepy. I'm out.
Everyone just leaves. Let's just go.
Honestly, if the world's gonna end, I hope it's like a meteor or something that hits us because if it's zombies, I won't take it.
I
I'm not
honestly,
having it.
I don't know how far I would make it, honestly. Though. That's scary. I don't trust my instinct to make it too far.
Beauty of the genre because even
Yeah.
now we're thinking about it. Do you know what I mean? And it's like,
Yeah.
it's just. I suppose in a way it's kind of like why I like Home Invasions because it is the thought of like this. Not zombies, not like this could happen to you, but in Home Invasions it's like, oh, you know, which weapon would I use? I've got to lock the doors. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe there's something there, or maybe I'm talking shit.
I'm curious. How far do you guys think you guys would make it?
Me? Honey, let me tell you something about Brazil. We cannot have guns. Like, people can't buy guns.
Oh,
It's not in the
ooh.
law. So we're screwed. I'm screwed. Okay?
I mean,
So
it's
there's
like
the
other
answer.
homemade weapons.
Mm.
Well, they'd be
Oh,
more
of
close range,
course.
so that was also homemade.
Yeah. And honestly, if it's like Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead Zombies, we ain't stand a chance. Like, we don't stand a chance, girl. There's no. Mm-mm.
I think as well, people don't know. Horror does this a lot. All genres, subgenres of horror explores. People don't know what they're capable of until
Yeah.
they are pushed to the limit. And I mean,
I
Saw plays with
won.
this idea a lot. Saw plays this idea that like, if you have the will to live, right, people when they're in an extreme situation, they can surprise themselves. And I think zombies are no different. Like I think if we were in a apocalypse, I think people surprise themselves into actually what they are
Yeah.
capable of. And I think horror explores that a lot.
Yeah.
What did I walk into? Oh
It's
my
scary.
god.
We were
It's
just talking
scary.
to each other about how long realistically we think any of us can survive in a zombie apocalypse.
Oh my god, we're still talking about
Zero.
zombies.
The zombies
Sleep much
bringing
for
They
fire.
just won't
Valentine's?
die.
Oh, Maya, I love Euphoria.
I watched season 1.
I love
I
it.
have
It's
I
so
have
good.
not
I
seen season 2.
actually have a note about Euphoria on one of my subgenres, which is probably
Really?
it's probably suspense. I'll leave the suspense there.
Yeah, I'm kind of shook right now. I love that.
All I know about Euphoria is what I've seen on Selisa's Twitter feed.
I
have
really
no
love that for me.
Fucking clue what that show is, but
I feel like
I know.
It's so good.
it's even funnier without context. Like when she's
Good.
That's so
I'm good.
true.
I won't watch it then.
Yes, I'm excited for tomorrow
Oh my
too. Tomorrow's
God.
Euphoria Day.
Euphoria Sunday.
Yes, I love that.
Oh my God, it's the finale.
Oh my god, it is the finale. Oh god, I'm not ready.
I'm
It's gonna
praying
be
that they
insane.
don't. You know what? I might not have to close at my job tomorrow, so I might be back in time to watch it. Barely.
You're not too old. You can watch Euphoria.
Euphoria. I mean,
Come
honestly,
on, honey.
Euphoria is not for teenagers. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, it's
It's
pretty
far from it.
adult.
It's pretty far from it.
Oh my god, bestie. Yes, follow me. Love that for us. Love that. We're at D now. Hit me with it, bestie. Come on.
All right. I am coming after Joni.
You're coming
As
after Joni.
as
I can't wait.
promised, I am coming at
Ooh, the showdown
comedy
of the
horror.
century.
Comedy horror from the other perspective.
Oh, let's do it. I really want
Although
to hear about it.
I do have, so my list is actually both mixed, but since Joni took the like, I guess we'll call it laughing with and laughing at to make the distinction. So Joni did the laughing with comedy, and I do have a couple examples of that. So for one is the WNUF Halloween special. I don't know if any of you have seen this.
Oh, I know.
It's on Shudder. It is fantastic. It is this. It's basically the premise is like it's a VHS tape of a local town Halloween special. They're like local news, and the person's like fast forwarding through it, and I don't really know how to explain it, but if you like weird comedy and stuff like that, it's hilarious. The other one, I have Jennifer's Body Down, which is one of those that can fit in like a million genres as well, but I feel like it's definitely more on the horror side than comedy, but it has, I mean, all the dialogue is just hilarious. all the crazy lines that Jennifer drops. And Shaun of the Dead, I was reminded of when we were talking about zombies. I feel like that's a really good comedy. So now to fight Joni. No, as I said, I really enjoy both. So I'm just giving representation for the laughing at comedy.
Thank you,
I
Jeffrey.
think
Hey.
Elden Ring. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, everyone has been playing that. Damn, that's dedication. Thanks, Jeff.
Yeah, so sweet. Thank you. Sorry, Dee.
Yeah, I don't know what Elden Ring is, but I'm honored.
Honored.
So I didn't really think about why I like laughing at comedy. I just always have liked really kind of lumping in with it B movies, so bad they're good movies, that kind of stuff. I feel like they all kind of go together. Um, the only thing I can think of as to if I'm trying to put it into logic why I like them, other than just the fact that they're just dumb fun. You can kind of turn your brain off and laugh at them. Is because like, I mean, now I make nonfiction videos for a living, but in college, me and like all my friends were filmmakers, so we were all like,
Icons.
yeah, we were all making videos together and stuff. So I think coming at it from that perspective, it's really fun to watch those because you can see the movie. You're not really immersed in the movie as much as you are watching the production as well. You're kind of just seeing. You're like, oh, I could do that in a sense, even
Yeah,
though most of the
I get
time
that.
there's no way you could even do something as good as like a so bad it's good movie, at least from my productions. But I think there's part of that too. So some of those that I wrote down were I just wrote down the Frank Henenlotter trilogy. I think you all know the three that is. But for anyone who doesn't, Basket Case, Frankenhooker, and Brain Damage. Right? Brain Damage? Yes. Those are all really fun. Although I don't know if I'd even call them so bad they're good. I think they're just fun, weird movies.
Yeah, I
But
agree.
but they're definitely wild B movies.
For sure.
So they're definitely something to laugh at. But it's this weird distinction too of those. There are the ones that were like unpurposely so bad they're good, but then there's also the ones that try to be so bad they're good. And then there's the ones who just don't care. They're just trying to have fun, which I think like Trauma kind of fits into, which I love Trauma. Toxic Avenger is one of my favorite horror movies. So that's listed in there because I find that movie hilarious. It's just awful in all the right ways. And then another one I threw in there, which I feel like is kind of a mix of the two, is the Rocky Horror Picture Show, because it is super like low budget, but it leans into that and is really self-aware in its campiness and everything. So I don't know which side that would fall more into, but it's either way, it's a hilarious, awesome movie. So those were the main ones I had. Oh, and Wolf Cop. That was another one I had listed
Oh,
down.
I haven't
Wolf
seen that
Cop's
in so
really fun.
long.
Wolf Cop is definitely one that it's like
I
trying
need
to
to
be.
watch Wolf Cop.
Yeah,
We should watch
you
that
would love it.
together.
You would love it.
Oh, I bet I would love it. It's been on my list forever and I haven't gotten around to it.
Yeah, it's great. But yeah, that one for sure is we're trying to be we're trying to be a cult so bad it's good movie, but it also is like super low budget and really funny. So that is what I have for that. Does anyone else have anything?
I just think it's really interesting that you mentioned Rocky Horror because I never even thought about genre for that film. But to say
Oh,
like
yeah.
which that you find it like sort of you don't know which side of that line it falls on. I just think it's so interesting, and I don't know either.
See,
Rocky
I like to
horror?
think of.
I mean, it's science fiction, horror, comedy, musical. There you go.
I mean, it's a lot of things in one.
It's a
So
little bit of everything sprinkled.
it's a little bit of
But I
everything.
thought of it as its own thing. Like
Oh,
I
I
never,
think it is. I think it is
Yeah.
its own thing.
yeah, do you know what I mean? I never thought of it
Yeah,
like
I get you.
I never thought. Not that I'm saying it doesn't. It's outside of genre, but I just thought I never
Mhm.
considered the genres that it belongs to. I just considered it this sort of magical thing that somehow we were blessed with.
Yes, it's a masterpiece. Okay. Oh, somebody doesn't like Wolf Cop. Oh my gosh. I haven't seen it. I have no thoughts right now. But
I found out that recently there's a second one, and I still really want to watch it. So I don't know what this
Andy?
anti-Wolf Cop nonsense is, but just kidding. It's not that great of a movie, but it is very fun if you like movies like that.
Oh wait, before I go to Andy, I'm gonna read this real quick. I've not seen that movie, but I'm hearing two zaddies right there. Kurt Russell and Patrick Wilson.
Okay, I've been trying to make you watch that movie for
Zaddies.
decades, girl. I am trying to make you watch that for decades now. Come
Decades,
on.
baby. We've
This
only
movie's
known each other for a year.
decades.
That felt like a decade.
Decades. Just kidding. I don't remember you even bringing this movie up, to be honest.
He actually
On our movie night chat,
Oh my god,
this was
Cassie, that's hilarious.
Melissa,
I got a small
listen,
brain.
with Mindhunters,
Mindhunter
this was like the
and
second movie I always
No,
bring it up on our movie
Mindhunters
nights.
I'll
It was this
never
and Mindhunters.
forget. Not Mindhunters I'm never gonna forget because you bring it up all the time, but I won't watch it because the poster looks awful. Sorry.
But
Don't judge a book by its cover.
I'm not rushing to watch it.
Don't judge by its cover. Don't judge by its cover. Cry Wolf looks terrible, but you loved it.
That's so true.
That poster.
That poster's pretty fucking bad. Yeah, D.
Yes,
D
I
was
am.
coming at you.
I am.
All right,
No,
so
I'm just
back
kidding.
to this. Even though Joni is trying to like come for my life. All right, I'll watch it. Now I see there's two zaddies in it. Joni should have led with that when he brought the movie up to me. So,
We were talking about.
bitch, how do you remember all these things? I got a lot of things on my mind. I can't remember this. I don't think I did, Maya. I'm sorry. Let's see if I can find it.
We miss a lot of stuff because
It's active today in the chat.
we're so drunk.
To be fair, everybody is going a lot more in on their subgenres than I thought they would. I found it.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
No, it's great.
that's a
I
good
love
thing.
it. No, it's great.
Oh my god, I have Bone
Ooh.
Tomahawk on my. I have it on digital somewhere, and I've been meaning to watch it for like a year now, and I still have not gotten to it. But it looks fucking amazing. I just realized that.
Found footage I love. I have found footage here on mine. I will talk about that when we get to me. These are really good ones. Love Creep, The Descent. There's a lot of good ones. I will see it. Thank you. I can't promise I'll see it super quickly, but I'll see it. I don't know what that scene is.
We're gonna find out.
Excited to find out. Two zaddies. You're so fine. It's no trouble. Auntie, why don't you go ahead? Hi, Daniel. How you doing? Hope you're well. Go ahead, Andy, whenever you're ready.
All right. Okie dokie. Listen, trying to decide what I'm not going in any order as far as subgenres go, as far as
Me
favorites.
neither.
It just
Yeah.
happened to be zombies is kind of iconic for me. But you know what? I'll go with. And again, I like that we just listen. This subject, I love this subject of subgenres because I realize like I know we have some literal like film scholars on the panel and probably within the chat. I am not that. I just like whatever I like, and I only know as much as I've seen. But I do kind of like the idea of just making up, deciding what fits into what genre. So, I call this genre just what the fuck did I call it? I just called it like the occult. Okay, so this is like my favorite. This is actually my favorite subgenre. So I'll start with, and again, there's a lot of weird shit that I'll fit into this category, and you can disagree or not, but it doesn't matter because I'm making it up as I go along. The occult. I'm starting with The Wicker Man. Which is a favorite movie of mine. I actually love what do you call it? What's that genre called where it's like The Wicker Man and a bunch of other like Blood on Satan's Claw. What do you call that? It's like folk horror, right?
Oh,
I think
folk
that's what
horror.
it's called.
Yeah,
Folk
yes.
horror. I fucking love folk horror. It is my favorite genre. I don't find it terribly scary, actually. I just love them. I love those movies. Like Witchfinder General, Blood on Satan's Claw, The Wicker Man, a bunch of stuff that falls into that category. I know Shudder just had a big thing. They had that good, really interesting documentary about it. I can't remember the name of it, but it's super good. And they just talk about folk horror. So The Wicker Man, again, this is nothing new. I'm sure everyone's heard of this one. I absolutely love this movie, aside from the fact that it's a Christopher Lee joint. I love anything Christopher Lee. And if you tell me that Christopher Lee is in charge of a pagan community, then I'm 100% there. I absolutely love the idea of the movie. I love the whole movie, start to front. Just go ahead and go watch that thing. That movie's amazing. And of course the ending is, and I'm talking about the original. Obviously, I'm not talking about the weird remake, which I've never seen. I bet it's neat, but I've never seen it. So in the occult, I've gone ahead and thrown in all of the sort of kind of like religious horror movies too, which is not a dig at any religious ideas or the religious movies. It's just it kind of all fits in together. In that these are horror movies that the genre is something that exists. The thing exists, like pagan religions exist. The idea of modern religions and the things that come out of them definitely exist. And so creating horror around them to me is kind of fascinating. And anyone who knows me knows probably where I'm going with this, because what my absolute favorite horror movie or favorite movie of all time fits in this category. But before I get there, I'd also just mention The Witch. I fucking love that movie. That one, I don't know. A lot of people will tell you probably not, maybe not as scary, but man, I love that movie for everything that it is and everything that it does. As far as a period piece goes, I can't imagine doing one that's any better than that. It's perfect, from the lighting, from the acting, from the characters, from the everything, the way that movie looked. It really looks like you could have made a movie in the 1800s. And then the other movies that I put into this category are The Omen, Rosemary's Baby, and The Exorcist.
Yes, we fucking
That
love
is
it.
my big three. Those are three of my favorite movies of all time. I know Celeste is a huge fan of Rosemary's Baby.
I am.
I put this into one big category. whatever, the occult and whatever else you want to mix into it. And they are religiously themed, religiously charged for sure, for obvious reasons. But I kind of just mash them into one big genre because they all feel this. They all feel the same to me. They all feel very similar. They're all based on real beliefs that people either have currently or have had throughout the last couple hundreds of years. Oh, wait, I got to move some things around so I could see what Lanessa is saying. Oh, yeah. Cage. Listen, Cage gets a pass on a lot of weird stuff. So.
It's so true, though. I really love him so much.
So do I.
What an icon.
But this is my favorite genre, and it contains my favorite movie. The Exorcist is my favorite movie of all time. The Omen is an incredible movie. I cannot believe there's anyone again around here who hasn't seen it already. It's a legendary film. It has an incredible backstory. It has a credible production record of tragedies that occur all around the making of that movie. But the movie's incredible, and then it ends. It has an incredible ending because, again, I didn't appreciate it as a young person, but as an older father, as I am, it is interesting to ask someone the question of what would you do if you found out that your kid was definitely for sure the devil. What would you do at the end of that movie? It asks that question and answers it, and it is great. I fucking love that movie. Rosemary's Baby is one of the best movies of all time, mainly because this was a perfect period. This is such a perfect period in filmmaking where we really, really super duper took horror seriously.
Yeah.
Late 60s, early 70s, we were treating horror movies like they were regular old dramas. So you'd hire the best actors, the best directors, the best writers, and you ended up with movies that felt really believable. Rosemary's Baby is filled with good actors and great side actors putting in the performances of their lives. All the like the side characters in that movie, I can't remember them off the top of my head, but the neighbors, they were character actors. They've been around forever. They did a million things. They're amazing, and they steal the show. So yeah, Rosemary's Baby, an incredible movie, start to finish. And needless to say, Mia Farrow is incredible in that movie.
True.
And then The Exorcist. The Exorcist, I'm going to go ahead and throw in, because I have a couple of, I'm going to take a whole 2 minutes here and just say that, yes,
He
The Exorcist
definitely is going to take like 5 minutes.
I'm sorry, count down. Oh my God.
No, I love him.
Put the cane out when I go over, but The Exorcist is my favorite movie of all time. Is my favorite movie of all time, and I think it's one of the best made movies ever. And I talk about this whenever we get together to talk about movies. But not only that, I think The Exorcist. I threw 3 or 4 movies into this one where I said The Exorcist, The Exorcist 3, which I had the extraordinary pleasure of watching with all of you. And getting to see your reaction to it. And I was so happy to introduce some of you to it who'd never seen it before. It was my greatest pleasure in the world, introducing people to a movie that they'd never seen before.
Andy has introduced me to so many movies. So many movies that are now like some of my favorite movies. Not to kiss your ass, but so true. Like
no, that was my thing as a little kid. Kid, but as like an early teens, our whole thing when we only had videos to go off of, and you go to the video rental store, like little mom and pop shops around the block. There wasn't like a big Blockbuster Video or anything like that yet. And all you could do was you'd show up, you'd say, okay, that cover looks amazing. You turn it around and it would say something like, this film has been banned in 37 countries. And you would rent it immediately. And we didn't know any better. We didn't know like anything about the movie. There was no way to look it up. Maybe I had a subscription to Fangoria from a pretty early age because my mom didn't know what Fangoria was.
I love it.
Which led to a lot of really weird posters on my walls. But yeah, I gotta. But anyway, because of Fangoria and just the box art on videotapes back in the day, I rented a lot of weird movies, and then I shared those experiences with everyone I knew. So everybody who knew me had to watch Dead Alive, and you had to watch The Exorcist 3, and you had to watch Evil Dead. That was the big one.
That's
so I was very,
cute.
I was very,
Just
very proud
solid.
to have introduced countless people who otherwise would never have seen it to Evil Dead and Dead Alive. And again, there's movies that were is like, oh, this movie has been it's the goriest movie of all time. Great, I'll watch it tonight while eating dinner, and then tell all my friends about it. So, but yeah, so The Exorcist, Exorcist 3. Again, having introduced you some of you guys to it was incredible. I love that. It's an amazing movie. It didn't get the it really didn't get the press that it deserved when it came out. Because it was quite frankly butchered by the studio that released it, unfortunately.
Goodbye, William, and I hope Skippy as
Oh,
well.
poor Skippy.
He's so cute.
Skippy makes an appearance on pretty much every live stream, I think, in one way, shape, or form.
Have a good night, friend.
But regardless of how the movie was butchered, I still think it comes out great. It's got good performances. It's got George C. Scott, who can do no wrong in my eyes, and then of course Brad Dourif, who is a god amongst men. Yeah, for sure. Who I got to see at a horror convention not too long ago, and I got a photo with him, and it was worth the extraordinary wait.
That line was crazy. I did not wait on that one.
Nuts. But he's great, and I'm so glad that I got a photo with him. Anyone who knows who I am, you can follow me on Instagram and see a very proud picture of me with Brad Dourif.
It's such a cute photo, so wholesome.
Oh my god, I'm so like, I'm such a happy little kid in every single photo with these people. But anyway, that's an amazing movie. And then real quick, I'll also just throw in the other Exorcist sequel that they made, Part 4. There were 2 Part 4s that were made. Okay, and honestly, both of them kind of deserve a watch. There was one that was called Dominion and one that was called The Beginning. And Dominion was the original that was made. It was almost completely finished. And then the production studio that saw what was happening said, whoa, what the hell are you doing? This movie's terrible. And they fired the original director, who was Paul Schrader, I believe. And then they brought in, what's his name? Anyway, another director who does like big budget action movies. Yes, thank you, Harlan. Jesus. Thank you.
Yeah,
of course,
he directed Mindhunters.
Yeah, that was going to be... Yes, he directed, I'm sure. He directed a lot of movies. That was going to be on my trivia for next time, but you got it. But yeah, so they hired Rennie Harlan to basically redo the movie using the same idea and the same actors and everything. It was really nuts. You can watch both of those movies because the original director went back and had the first movie finished one way or the other. He had the movie finished, and it's pretty interesting. And then the finished version that the studio actually had done by Rennie Harlan, also interesting. I'm not saying it's a good movie, but it's interesting because I love a little mix of horror and archaeology. And that movie has a little bit of that. There's the idea of a priest turned archaeologist because of something awful that happened to him during World War II. The character of Father Merrin from the first movie, played by Stellan Skarsgård in both movies. Yeah, he's great. Actually, he's really good. He played in the original Dominion, and then he also played him again when Rennie Harlan took over for the movie called The Beginning, Exorcist for The Beginning. Stellan Skarsgård plays that character. He does a great job, and there's a really incredible scene with him and I think Ben Cross, I believe, or maybe not. He plays another character somewhere else. But anyway, the priest is asked to do something truly terrible during World War II, and it's an incredible, it's a cool scene, and it's a terrible scene, but it's really interesting to see in the movie. And it really tells you why that character made the change that they made to their life and became an archaeologist over a priest. And then you kind of get to see that character's change over the course of the movie. But I like the idea of archaeological horror because in that movie you see a church, a pre-Christian church in an area where it shouldn't be, basically sort of a Byzantine era church, sort of buried. And the idea is that the church was built over the site of where Satan fell to earth at some point. And it's really, really cool, really interesting if you like that kind of thing. So yeah, the Exorcist, the first one, the third one, and then the 2 fourth ones are both worth watching, despite what anyone tells you. Take it from me; they're worth watching, even if they're not great movies. Check them out. And that's my genre. That whole giant collection of movies: the Wicker Man, The Witch, The Omen, Rosemary's Baby, and all of the Exorcist films except for the second one. Check them all out. You have my seal of approval for what it's worth.
Love it. Love that deep analysis into the occult.
I could go. I think we
I
want to be
know
done
you
before
can.
9 o'clock
I
in the
know
morning.
you can. I know. More like 10 in the morning. I'm kidding. Okay. Joni, go ahead. Oh, wait. No, before Joni goes on, does anyone else have a cult? No. People are just shaking their head. Okay. No. Yeah, I have Rosemary's Baby on mine, obviously. Like, if you know me, it's gonna be here. But I have it under psychological horror. I feel like it kind of goes in all in all of those.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But yeah, we'll talk about that when I get to it. Joni, go ahead.
Okay, so here we go again. Okay, this is gonna be totally unexpected, but that's what I am. So, no matter what subgenre we're talking about, horror is basically 3 steps, right? Threat, suspense, and shock. But what if you took one of them out? Let's take suspense out. And instead of suspense, you put action. So we've got action horror films, and I love them. Who else is with me? Or am I just the only one?
Depends. Depends on the
Oh,
mood.
really?
I don't even know what's going on. I just need you to continue talking. I feel
Action horror.
I feel like you just like abruptly like stopped speaking. Oh, did I miss something
No,
you
like
said?
action horror movies. Action horror movies. You guys are not fan of this subgenre?
No.
I don't know if I know any.
No.
I'm sorry.
What are some
I don't
examples?
wait, I don't know what that
God.
means. Is that are you saying like survival? Because aren't they kind of similar?
No. Action genre mixed with horror. Action horror movies. Click. You have Death Race from Paul W.S. Anderson.
Definitely
You have the
clicked.
Underworld
Oh,
franchise.
okay.
Let's
Overlord,
give our
Shadow in the
examples.
Cloud, Predator, Shadow in the Cloud, Death Race, Underworld. Get the picture? Overlord.
Oh, okay.
I've never seen any of these, so
Overlord can
Oh my.
also count as a zombie movie though.
Yes.
So
Yes. And it's also an action horror movie.
Okay.
Anyway, I love this subgenre. I mean, Death Race, like Rocco says, I fuck with it. I love it. Shadow in the Cloud with Chloe. Mwah. Love it. Predator, love Predator franchise. I'm a sucker for Predator. Sorry, but yeah, love it. This is me, and that's it. Action horror. Oh, Lanessa, what? Yeah, Hetzer Grotto, Predator, Aliens, Resident Evil, yes. Death Race, Underworld, yes, girl, you are correct.
you got some love for Overlord.
oh, I've seen They Live. Is that action horror?
I haven't seen that.
That's what Adam said.
Oh, I guess it is.
They
Yeah.
Live is awesome.
It's awesome.
So that's one action horror I've seen.
There you go. Okay, does anyone else have action horror?
Not surprised. Disappointed, but not surprised.
I'm surprised Francis is not in on this action horror. Not for you.
Really? You think
feel like-
that'd be...
I feel like it's like kind of you.
That's interesting because I generally find action horror. Maybe maybe it's because I haven't seen it enough. I generally just don't. It doesn't. I just don't get the appeal because I think
I feel similarly with that.
action films in general, like just take the horror out the straight action genre, is not my thing at all. I love action, but I like action like sort of grounded within the foundations of another genre, right? Um, but yeah, action horror. But maybe then I've only seen like one of what Joni said, so maybe I need to see more.
Maybe you do.
Maybe
Andy's
I
back. Andy, do you fuck with action horror?
No. I mean, I no. Or at least it didn't really come up. It wasn't anything that really came up to me.
Oh.
Sorry, I missed probably something very, very important because I had.
No, you're fine. Joni was just discussing action horror.
I know, I'm sorry. I missed something very important.
I'm so
I had- I had-
sorry.
I-
It's
I'm sorry,
action,
no,
it's horror, it's all at the same time. That's it.
No, I had to address something that was happening outside of this room, and I can't go into any more detail than that.
Oh. Why am I scared?
I just love Selisa's face whenever I say something.
Because that fucking scared me. It's like fucking cryptic. Like, what are you
Wait,
talking
I'm sorry.
about?
Well, what were the movies that you mentioned specifically, Joni?
Oh, okay. I mentioned Death Race by Paul W.S. Anderson, the Underworld franchise, Overlord, Shadow in the Cloud, Predator, Aliens, maybe, Van Helsing, probably. So there's a lot. World War Z as well. It's a zombie movie, but it's also an action horror movie. So there you go.
Oh, okay. So Aliens for sure. You talk about an action horror movie. That movie is actually perfect. Considering the first movie, Alien, is a really a perfect horror movie.
Yeah.
And then Aliens being the sequel to that movie, being an action sci-fi movie, it succeeds on every conceivable level. I had never even thought about those movies. I never thought about the genre of action horror, but Aliens being into that category, it really tells me a lot, and I agree 100%. That's an incredible observation.
Yeah, what I
Cool.
was saying, it was like horror works in three stages: threat, suspense, and shock. So in action horror, you take out suspense and you put action instead of it. So it becomes threat, action, and the shocks. So this is what you got
Yeah,
in this one.
yeah, for sure. Oh no.
I love her. She is the star of the show. Lanessa
Yeah,
is
I
the
know.
moment.
I'm sorry. I had to corral Dino back into the pen
Who's Dino?
that I made for him. Did you say who's Dino?
Yeah.
Oh no, that's a reference from the Flintstones, which is a cartoon from 300 years ago that you wouldn't know about.
I know what the Flintstones
Flintstones
is.
is older than
What?
300 years.
No, I know the subject matter is older, D, but I mean the cartoon itself. I just
I was
assumed.
just
I love to exaggerate my age by at least 200 years every time we all get together and talk about movies. Because you guys make me feel old, okay? With your
Oh no.
that
Oh
thing
no.
was behind you, and it fucking scared the shit out of me. I totally forgot. He just
Oh my
moved.
god, Francis,
So-
your microphone is crazy right now.
Oh, is it like loud or just shit?
No, it just sounded like it was like
She's moving.
far away and then close. Far away and then
Maybe
close.
I moved. Maybe it's just that. I don't know.
Oh no. Andy, I don't want to scare you, but I think she moved a bit.
now.
Andy,
She's looking a
that
little
shit is
closer.
terrifying.
Don't be
Why?
silly.
Is this D? Like D? Deception.
D Whenever there's anything going on, D is either getting wild in the Discord or getting wild on our stream.
D
I
just does
love
what D
D.
does.
D is
D
the
is an
moment.
unstoppable force of
freak.
nature.
Indeed, an icon. Melissa, where are you now?
All right. I put down my next one, psychological horror, because once again, I like things that make my brain hurt and make me think a lot more than I probably should.
You
So
really do.
Yeah.
Because like I never even heard of French extremity until talking to you, all of you, and now that I know what that is, damn.
It's dark.
Damn, those are movies that I could never either not approach or maybe not approach more than once.
Yeah.
Mm,
Well,
they're tough. They're not for everyone.
Yeah, like I said before, it's like I feel like that's my weak point. It's like gore, I'm just like a little kid. I'm like, oh, blood, that's cool, guts, cool. But like when it gets like really emotional, like and mental and like more psychological, it's like when it really kind of fucks me up. So I have Jacob's Ladder. I feel like Jacob's Ladder is it's a journey of a movie. It's really good if you guys haven't watched it for any reason. I think so. We watched that one together also for the first time.
I actually have that
That's
on mine
super
too.
wild.
I have psychological horror too, if you want to talk about it together.
Yeah, it's good.
Let's do
It's
it.
like we're in sync mentally.
We are. Yeah, Jacob's Ladder is a masterpiece. I did a review of that a while ago.
That was
Probably
like one of
a
the
whole
first
year ago.
ones. One of the OGs.
Yeah. That's like an OG review right there with my iPhone. Love it. My iPhone and my ring light. The ring light reflecting in my glasses. We love to see
Those
it.
were the good old days.
The good old days.
That's
Before
when I
was
started following
4K.
you. That's when I started following you. I was like, oh, this girl is for real. She's fucking doing this shit on her goddamn phone.
My phone.
It was
my
good quality for a phone though.
Your early videos are fucking amazing. It's literally just a girl in an apartment with a drink saying, all right, let's talk about these fucking movies, idiots.
They're so cringy. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Oh my god, are you kidding me?
I'm like sitting on the floor in front of my bed and like,
but the thing is,
we're talking about Jacob's Ladder.
It makes it feel more natural, and I feel like that's such a cool aspect of most of your videos. Like, it feels like you're just sitting there talking to somebody, and that was like one of the first things that I feel like, and it's still now, obviously, but just like better quality camera and all that. But I feel like that's something that draws in a lot of people. I just feel like you're sitting kind of like how we're here now, talking about the movies we love. Like,
no, Celise sold out. We miss the old Celise.
Could you imagine?
She's too mainstream.
I remember when there was 20 followers. This fucking 2000 shit is bullshit.
almost 2.3.
Thank
Come
you.
on, people, make it hit that nice 2.3 stat right now. Sorry, I got carried away.
I love you, Jay. Okay, yeah, so we're talking about Jacob's Ladder.
Mm-hmm.
I love Jacob's Ladder. It's a really good one. Has anyone seen that here? Oh my god. Yeah, D, I think you would love it. Like, absolutely love it.
It's
I recommend.
really good.
I've heard of it. It's just like super messed up, right? Like messed up mentally, not necessarily gore-wise.
Yeah.
Very mental. Yes, for sure.
It's a really depressing movie. So
well, you know me.
Totally mental.
Really
mental.
Really
completely
messed
mental
up
D.
and depressing.
Yeah, so I have Jacob's Ladder, and then I have Perfect Blue from Satoshi Kon. That's a really good one. That's an animated.
I still have to see that. That's on my list.
Yeah, that one is good. Very similar to Black Swan, but I think this one is better than Black Swan.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. I have The Invisible Man.
Ooh.
And that is the one that Lee Winnell did. I know there's a million other versions of The Invisible Man, I think. I have Rosemary's Baby and Possession from 1981.
Dope. Yeah, I forgot about that one. That was kind of psychological. I forgot about that. That was a really good one. I'm glad they introduced me to that one.
Yeah, that one is like psychological and also like
Creature.
Creature. Yeah, there's like a lot going on in that movie.
Body horror.
Yeah, there is some body horror in there for sure.
Surreal, it's the word.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely
Yes,
surreal.
like a little bit of everything there.
A little bit of everything.
I had Jacob's Ladder, which we already talked about. I put The Sixth Sense because what the frick? Watching that at like 5, my brain hurts till this day.
It's a good one.
That movie really scarred me as a child so bad. Like the little girl like underneath the blanket.
Yes.
Nightmares for days.
Fuck yeah.
I did put Into the Ghostlands, which was also by the same guy that made Martyrs.
Oh, I forgot that one. That one's amazing.
That one's a really good one too. I had really low expectations going into that movie, but it was surprisingly good. Like again, I can never say that guy's name either, but he has such a good way at showing people's trauma and like how they deal with it. It's insane. Even though a lot of these women would never work with this man again because somehow people always get really badly hurt when they work with this man or disfigured. But yeah, there's a history with that. And then I also put Identity, which I thought of last minute because I'm like, this kind of goes in there. That kind of
yeah, that's a good one. I'm kind of upset I forgot to mention Incident in a Ghostland. That one is really good. Yes, it is.
I've
really recommend that one. I actually have a very early sitting on the floor drinking a glass of wine video on Incident in a Ghostland with my iPhone. Check it out. Probably a hot mess, honestly. Yeah, I love the love for that.
The movie was such a mind frick because it's like you go into it expecting it to be like a slasher or something, and then it just takes you on a journey, and it is far from what you expect it to be.
Identity is everything. I love it.
It's so good.
It's really good. We love John Cusack.
And
cool.
Queen,
Does anyone
Clea
else
Duvall.
have? Oh yeah, Clea Duvall, Queen. Does anyone else have psychological horror?
Nope.
Ooh, that's a really good one, Jay.
Ooh.
Oh, I didn't know you had a bunch of tattoos. Influence from that movie. Cool.
Nice.
Okay, we're back to Francis.
Oh shit! I was not.
It's you.
Already.
We're here already.
Right. Right.
No pressure.
Yeah. Okay. So this is a niche one. This is a niche one. Probably.
Okay.
I don't even know. Fuck it. It's a subgenre now. It is because I've said it is, but it's the death game subgenre. Which is basically what it sounds like. It's just when there's a game involving death. And to give you some examples, you know what I'm talking about, like the most infamous would be Saw, but you also have things like Escape Room recently. You have there's one called Would You Rather, which has Jeffrey Combs in it from like 2012. There's that it's not really horror, it's more thriller, but there's one with Emma Roberts. It's like an app thing, although I hate that film. It's like really neon lit. I can't think of the name of it, but
I don't think I know that one. Oh wait,
Nerve.
Nerve.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Machine Gun Kelly's in it too.
He fucking is. Just from
Yeah.
I fucking hate that film, but
the movie's a bit of a mess. Come on.
yeah. But Cube, that's a great example actually in the chat. But
Yep.
the death game, I love thrillers. It's, someone mentioned Seven a minute ago, and that is a good segue because I think the death game subgenre is very close to the thriller genre, which I love. So if you look at Seven, it's not a million miles off Saw, right? Does anyone that might do it? Is that
Yeah.
comparison? I
No, I
think
would
that
agree.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
not
I
as
agree.
good. Seven's
Journey
way
is
better, but
disappointing.
Yeah.
no, I'm joking.
But yeah, I think
Sorry, that
Thriller.
was mean.
Um, I thought I saw Joni shaking his head. I know we're the Saw fanboys, so
No, just wait for it. Just wait for it, honey. Just wait for it.
okay. But yeah, I think Death Games, they are thrilling. There's this sort of um yeah, I can't think of a better word than thrill. So, um, fundamentally, will this person survive? And also something that Escape Room, I didn't really like I never didn't see a sequel, but I didn't really like it. But something I really liked about it was the production design, and I think the death game subgenre invites such cool, interesting, exciting, and unique production design. Um, and also some creative kills. You can, if it's a game, it's fun. It's more light-hearted. You're not supposed to take it too seriously. You're opening yourself for some creative kills. And I think Saw has some creative kills. um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think it's a little niche subgenre. I sort of like the zombie thing when I was saying like I'm a concept fan, but I'm often disappointed. I am a concept fan of the death game, but I am endlessly disappointed because they tend to be sort of cheaply produced and just aimed as sort of a mass market sort of shit film. but um, but yeah, I think the subgenre is fun, and I think yeah, I think it's a fun little subgenre.
Nice.
I think all your genres are interesting, Francis. I feel like they have the common thread of what would you do horror movies?
Yeah,
Like the
definitely.
zombies, survival, or what was the invasion?
Yeah, hundred
Yeah.
percent.
They're all very much like you can see yourself in the situation and how would you react?
I love
So
that you noticed that because I didn't, and I fucking put this
yeah,
together.
I'm just playing therapist.
Interesting.
I'm writing down everyone's fears.
I'm learning about.
I
G's
noticed.
gonna come
I
for us
noticed it.
soon.
Yeah, I saw that a mile away because I also have that one in my list. Only I put it under a different name. You see, I put it as survival horror.
Oh right. I would have, yeah, that's interesting because I considered survival horror something a bit, yeah, something a bit different, but I totally get why you put it there.
People usually call the Saw movies as quote torture porn, but Jesus, no one is being tortured in those movies. Those people have to survive. It's a matter of decision. What are you gonna do? How fast can you be? How smart can you be? This is survival horror because when you have like something like a slasher movie, the killer comes from behind. The guy doesn't stand a chance. So it's about seeing how they're going to die. But when you have a survival horror, it's not about how they're going to die, but if they're going to make it. And will they be smart or strong enough to make it? So, this is the basics of survival horror. And I had movies like Battle Royale, which you should totally see because it's the foundation of the subgenre, especially for Saw fans. The Ruins, which I put Celeste through hell with this. She had a great time.
I did.
Um,
I
you're
remember.
next. You mentioned Cube. I put Quiet Place, Bird Box, Resident Evil, Alien. The first Alien film is a survival horror movie completely. So even the that Korean Netflix series like Squid Game has strong survival horror elements to it. It is a death game, as you say. So there you go. I have this one as well, and it's my favorite subgenre of all time. You say survival horror, I'm there. It's my
I
thing. It's my cup of tea.
I think it's interesting that you put because you're 100% right. Death Game is like a subgenre of survival horror, which is like a subgenre itself. But
Hmm.
I never thought of it that way, and yeah, your infinite wisdom of Joni strikes again.
Love
Oh
you
my
too.
goodness. I love it. Okay. Are we at D?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
This one I have is very. I really don't have much to say, but it's just animated horror. It just combines two of my favorite genres. So animation. I love animation, especially like animated TV shows and stuff. And then horror. Um, so a few of my examples. I feel like at least most popular animated horror movies are kids movies as well as stop motion, but I'm gonna go ahead and include that in with animation anyways. So Coraline is definitely my favorite, but you've also got Corpse Bride, Nightmare Before Christmas, and there's a ton of other stop motion um, animated horror. And then you've got Monster House, which is like computer animated. Love that. And then for non-kid animated horror, I have Attack of the Demons, which is this really interesting movie on Shudder. Um, I don't know if anyone's seen it, but it is paper cutouts like early South Park, and I can't say it's like the sharpest made movie, but it's definitely a movie that you see, and it was made with a lot of love. It's just a really like charming movie. And the other one is also on Shudder. It's called The Wolf House, and it's a stop motion horror movie for not for kids, and it's very scary and surreal and David Lynch esque. So, yeah, I oh, and I know we're only talking movie, but I gotta include TV shows, Courage the Cowardly Dog and Girl vs. Billy
Yes.
and Mandy, because those
Yes.
those two are basically my introduction to horror, as I'm sure a lot of people my age.
Same.
So
Love it.
that's pretty much all. I don't know. Does anyone else have any cool animated horror stuff to recommend?
If you
Um,
about it, there's a film called Wendell and Wild, which is directed by the same guy that did Nightmare Before Christmas and Coraline, and that's coming out this year. It's got Key and Peele, Keegan Michael Key and Jordan Peele as the like main two. I think they play like brothers, so that'll be one to watch because, I mean, I forget the guy's name, but the guy that did Night Before Christmas and Coraline clearly knows what he's fucking doing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I didn't know about that, but I'm excited now because both those movies are great.
I got one for you, D. Have you ever seen Another, the anime?
I
No,
have
it's a
not.
Japanese anime with 10 episodes, I think. It's about a classroom of students, and they have a curse that if they break the class rules, they start dying in those Final Destination ways. So it's super gory, crazy. And there's a live action version of it, a Japanese horror movie called Another. So you can watch the animation, the live action, see which one you like more. But I recommend. It's crazy. It's so good.
Awesome. Is there also a Netflix adaptation, like the meme,
Nope.
where it's like, oh wait, no, that's what it's like the manga, the anime, and then the Netflix
Oh,
adaptation.
Oh, no, not yet. At least not yet. I mean, this thing's been around for years. I mean, the live action movie came out in 2012. So, no, I don't think that will become a thing. But look for it. Another. Go for it.
Andy, we're at you again.
All right. Let me see what I've got. All right. I'm gonna go with, and again, bearing in mind that I'm just making up genres at this point.
Go for it.
So I created a genre I called I don't know what I called this actually because I can't say the names anymore. So I just call this like I call this fantasy / weird fiction horror. Okay. And you guys might or might not agree. But once again, I think the fascinating part of this conversation is just us talking about what we think fits into what genre. That says so much more about us than it says about the genre. So this kind of is the genre that I would have otherwise at first just said is my Clive Barker genre. I jokingly said on our Discord is like I only have a couple of genres. It's like The Exorcist, Clive Barker, and then everything else. So my version of like fantasy / weird fiction, to me, this is just stuff that doesn't really fit. This is I don't know. Like if you wanted to make a genre and call it monster movies, you could have fit 50% of every single horror movie that ever came out. Fine. I call this fantasy weird fiction because there's no precedent, in my opinion, for what the intention of these movies is, other than to say this is just pure fantasy nonsense. So the first couple are Clive Barker-esque. And again, anyone who knows me knows that I'm a huge, huge, huge fan of Clive Barker. I discovered him in junior high school, started reading his books, and that's what made me realize that I'm not a weirdo. Everyone else is. So number one on the list is Nightbreed.
Someone said it right before you.
Oh, really? Oh, Jesus. I keep clicking off of our main screen to go look into all my various windows. Nightbreed, yeah, for sure. Wait, who said that? Adam. My man, Adam. You're right, man. Nightbreed is such a great movie. Again, if you just want to talk about like monster movies, that encapsulates like 50% of all horror. So rather than do that, I talk about this genre, which is fantasy weird fiction. Nightbreed is the movie that tells you that the monsters are the heroes and humans are fucking trash. If you've never seen this movie, go watch it. This briefly came up during the trivia. I think it was our trivia live stream. And I very foolishly said you could just watch the regular one. It's fine. The unrated director's cut is not a big deal. No, go ahead and watch the director's cut. If you haven't seen it, the Cabal cut, I believe it's available on Shudder. I might be wrong. But whatever. Watch it. It actually is definitely worth checking out. Clive Barker. I'm a huge Clive Barker fan, both the fiction and the handful of movies that he's bothered to make. Nightbreed is an incredible movie. It truly does not fit into any genre otherwise, other than monster movie. And again, the monsters are the heroes. The movie features David Cronenberg in a really, really, really cool, iconic role. Again, if you've never seen it, boy, check it out. It's pretty amazing. Cronenberg is really cool. The director's cut is actually very important because it, for whatever reason, I did not realize this when I first saw the original version, but Doug Bradley plays one of the main characters in the movie. And for whatever reason, when they released the film, they redubbed all of his lines. I guess they didn't think his character should have had a British accent. It's real super stupid. The director's cut maintains his lines in the movie and then some. It's really, really good. Check it out. The only downside to the director's cut is that there's an extended scene of singing for reasons that I cannot understand by one of the main characters early on in the movie. Otherwise, that movie is tops. Check it out. It's amazing. And it fully fits into this genre that I'm calling just fantasy weird fiction horror. The second couple of movies that I'm throwing in, this is one, and the second movie that I'm throwing in is just the first and the second of the series. Decker, yeah, fucking Decker as the button face slasher is dope. If you know, you know. And if you don't know, kindly go watch that movie again. I think it's on Shudder. Watch that damn movie. It's perfection. And Danny Elfman, who showed up on earlier live streams as far as musicians, composers that we love of horror, did the music for that movie. He's great, and that's one of his movies. So anyway, staying in this genre of fantasy weird fiction, this is where I put Hellraiser. And I put him there because, again, I'm someone who read a lot of Clive Barker as a very, very, very young person, discovering who I am. And again, Clive Barker is one of those people who makes you realize, oh no, I'm not. There's nothing wrong with me. Everyone else is weird for not being like me. Hellraiser movies, the first two is what I'm putting in this category. Hellraiser 1 and 2, they are incredible movies. I don't buy into the idea that this is a movie about like demons. I don't think they're that. I think they definitely transcend that. They're definitely something else, which is why I put them into the fantasy horror category. The other movie that I'm going to put into here is Pan's Labyrinth. I'm a huge fan of Guillermo del Toro. Basically everything he does, I think, is solid gold. And Pan's Labyrinth is maybe one of my favorite movies of all time. It is a fantasy folk horror. I don't know. It borrows from fantasy, and it borrows from folk tales, and it borrows from fairy tales, as a lot of Guillermo del Toro's work does. Del Toro will appear later on in one of my other genres that I love. But Pan's Labyrinth is an incredible movie. It only barely constitutes horror because there are certain elements of the movie which are truly horrific, because Del Toro simply cannot tell a story. He can't tell a fairy story without a fairy folktale story without making it gruesome at some point in the telling, which makes it way better. And I love Del Toro whenever he deals with his whenever he deals with his own his homeland, whenever he deals with Central America or Mexico or the Spanish influence in his life. I think that's where he does his best work. And as I said, that will appear later on in one of the genres that I would love to talk about. The other couple of movies that I throw into this pile as far as being weird fiction and being fantasy. So the next movie I consider fantasy, even though a lot of people would say this is a slasher or a monster movie, but I think it's pure fantasy. It is A Nightmare on Elm Street. This is one of the first horror movies I've ever seen outside of The Night of the Living Dead, and I had never seen anything like it before that point. This movie, to me, is pure fantasy. Freddy Krueger is a monster. I cannot think of another creature that was anything like him when that movie came out. It was not based in reality. He was not a real guy. Maybe in life he was something, but in death he was something way worse. And he came back and he attacked people in their dreams. I had never even heard of a monster like that in film. So to me, Nightmare on Elm Street is pure fantasy, and as always, Wes Craven was just owning genres and doing things that nobody else was doing. Again, people who call Freddy Krueger a slasher, I was like, I don't know. I don't think he compares to something like Jason or Michael Myers. He's a purely mythical monster, unlike all the other slashers. So that's why I put that character in that genre. And then the last one that I'm going to throw in is just purely based on how much I love a weird fiction being translated into horror movies. And that is the movie Dagon. Dagon is based on a H.P. Lovecraft story. It is based on it was made by Stuart Gordon. It is one of his sort of gooey, gory style horror movies, but in my opinion is maybe the best version of an H.P. Lovecraft story. And I think it fits best into this category of both fantasy, weird fiction as far as horror movie goes. I can't think of anything else like it. It's truly it's an H.P. Lovecraft story come to life. It does everything right. It's all in all but a handful of really terrible moments where they use CGI. It's all physical, and all the creatures look fucking amazing. If you love H.P. Lovecraft and you haven't seen Dagon, you definitely should. Again, it's maybe the best interpretation of one of his stories. So yeah, that's me talking about this category, this genre of film, fantasy, weird fiction. It is
And
it's very
Sandy,
near and dear to my heart. It's maybe one of my favorites. So there
love
you
that
have
for
it.
you. You got some stuff in here I'm gonna read to you real quick. Adam says, watch Chronos from Del
Kronos.
Toro.
Believe me, I'm a huge fan of Del Toro. I love Kronos. And The Devil's Backbone will show up later on in one of my other genres. Everything that Del Toro did, especially related to his home country, I think was incredible and really important. And I love those movies, especially, like I said, Devil's Backbone, Kronos, and Pan's Labyrinth, I think are amazing films. And Hellraiser, both the first and second Hellraiser films, I think are top tier.
Speaking
I
of
love those films.
Hellraiser, he says, get the Hellraiser movies from Arrow.
Yeah.
Everyone loves Dagon. I haven't seen it. I have no
That's
thoughts.
the Dagon was a movie that I was going to recommend to you, except that the CGI is particularly bad. It's one of those things where I feel like maybe they just ran out of money and they just fucked up. But other than that, I think for people who are fans of H.P. Lovecraft or weird fiction, it's maybe the best version of those stories. And again, that's including Reanimator as being a version of a H.P. Lovecraft story. I think Dagon is the better story, and they do an amazing job of it. But there's a handful of scenes where they rely on CG, and boy, they're not good. It's not good scenes.
Okay. Joni, go ahead.
Okay, so I'm out of subgenres. I have only one left. So Andy, I love
Mhm.
love fantasy horror. So let's spill the tea. My last one is the obvious. Sorry, here it goes. Slasher, of course. So we're here. Let's do it. This thing started with, I believe, Agatha Christie in And Then There Were None, when 10 people go to a house with a mysterious host and suddenly they start dying one by one. And the book leaves us with three questions: who's next? Who's the killer? And why are these people dying? And from that moment on, we have like several narratives just like it, with a who done it or not, from Friday the 13th to, the Bat or something. The slasher is the basic foundation of popular horror, creates the icons. When people think about horror movies, they think about Freddy, the Michael, Jason. Our icons are all there because it creates good villains, even if sometimes they're invisible. Like in Final Destination, you have the Green Reaper killing everybody one by one, da 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 da. But like our curiosity to have a group of people and see who's gonna make it or not, or who's gonna be the next one to go, is what makes reality shows works. For instance, every week someone gets eliminated, voted out of the island. So this is a slasher movie premise. This is where reality shows came, and it's very influential. And sorry, when mixed with my other favorites, survival horror, when those two are together, they are indestructible. Want an example? Scream. You have slasher and the survival horror aspect, and I am so grateful. But there's a lot of movies that also mix. But there you go. Yeah, kill everybody. We're here for it. Yay. Kill. Blood. Give it. That's why we pay our tickets. Oh, the characters. Oh, this movie has so a great character development. Okay, develop, but how are you going to kill them? Come on,
Melissa,
kill them.
something is wrong with your headphones. Carol.
Oh my gosh, she sounds like a robot.
She has the robot curse again.
Oh my god, Mel. Robot.
she's a robot. Oh my goodness. Some love for Joni there.
Oh my god, yeah.
that.
If you love that, then you should definitely go back and rewatch the fucking trivia tonight. Joni took everybody to school on that show. Holy fuck.
Am I still robotic?
No, you're good.
No,
thank
you're
God.
not. You're fine.
I was like,
That
in
was fucking
between
terrifying.
having my headphones charged because they were dying on me, and I'm like, oh, if they die, it's gonna do it, and it still did it anyways. God damn it.
You're fine, Diva.
That was literally what I was
Thank you
trying to
for being-
avoid.
Okay, now that
so
you
I'm
don't
gonna
sound
ask,
like a robot, you're good.
who is
What?
not a slasher fan here? Is there a person in this stream that is not a slasher fan?
I don't think so. I think we all love slashers.
Like
It's definitely a genre
Thank-
I'm going to talk about later.
Yeah,
Thank
I
God.
have it as well.
Yeah, I'm out of it. So my subgenres are out. So be happy. Let's see what you guys got.
Ooh. Melissa, go ahead.
Honestly, yeah, this one's my last one too, and it's also a slasher.
Go ahead. Go for it.
I mean, man, you really can't go wrong with that genre. I feel like that's like a main pillar in just horror in general. Like Joni was saying, like it gave us like so many iconic villains, and there's so much different little mini subgenres. I don't know that can like. Oh no.
I think Jay's joking.
What?
Jay, are you kidding? I don't know.
Hot
Maybe
take. Hot take. I
Hot
like that.
take.
I like it. But yeah, there's so many like I don't know. There's just like a lot of endless possibilities. Like I personally, it really depends on my mood. I have like this thing where it's like I'm a sucker for like the really campy ones with like the dumb teenagers. Oh no! And somehow they get themselves in weird situations, and then they all die horrible, gruesome deaths. And it's like, how'd we get here? Like I don't know. That's one of
They're
my like,
fun,
personal
yeah.
favorite little niches of it. Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
It's fine. Do you have any of your favorites you want to list?
Ooh, actually, I kind of wanted to like name a few not so mainstream ones. Like I had Pieces as one of the first ones because I just watched that. When we watched that, I was like, this movie is fucking amazing.
That movie
And I
is
feel like
great.
not enough people talk about
Yo,
Pieces.
Pieces is fire. That ending stays with you for life. We love to see it. Great movie. 10 out of 10 recommend.
That was like my main one. I just wrote Pieces in big bold letters. I'm like, give it love. It's a great movie.
It's great.
Watch it.
Okay, I also have Slasher. Oh yeah, Jay loves Pieces.
Yeah.
Love it. Love that, Gavin. I have Slasher, and then I have another one that I feel like they kind of go a little hand in hand here. So for Slasher, I mean, it's a classic. Like, I love the classics. I have Scream, obviously. Black Christmas, only the original. Don't talk to me about any of the other ones, please. Terrifier, because Terrifier counts.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Halloween, of course, it's probably my favorite one. And I have to add Alice Sweet Alice, an absolute classic.
Yes.
A vibe. So good and so underrated. And then I'm gonna just jump into this because I feel like it's slasher-esque. Of course, it's Giallo era on the channel. I have Giallo. And I have some favorites I want to list. The Red Queen kills 7 times. So good. Deep Red, The Strange Vice of Mrs. Ward, and All the Colors of the Dark.
Yeah.
I feel like Slasher and Giallo are very similar. But obviously, Giallo has many different aspects to a slasher, but they're similar. They're a vibe.
I'm just gonna shimmy and I see you moving the whips.
What?
The thing behind Andy. I know you.
What's happening? Andy, we can see it's you.
What? Wait, what's happening?
Andy tried it though.
For a second, I really questioned everything. I was like, wait, what?
Melissa would. Melissa thinks it's the brujeria.
Yeah.
It might be.
Thank you, Adam. Thanks.
Can I add my slasher?
Absolutely.
So you covered everything that I had except Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
It's a good
That was
one.
one of my faves as well. But yeah, that's that.
Love Bubba.
That's a really good one. Classic. Okay, Francis, are you out? Did you say you were out?
No, I think I have two.
Do it.
But what? Actually, I have three. But one of them is. I'll do this one. So I have body horror.
Absolutely, yes.
Although I'm not actually body horror is not one of my favorites, which you may be thinking, well, why talk about it? But um, I recently rethought what body horror was, and although it's not one of my favorites necessarily, it is a genre I think has so much potential, and I think we originally, it's not originally, we typically think body horror is very gory. Certainly, like it gets thrown around as if it's like synonymous with like splatter films or even just like torture porn. You know what I mean? People throw body horror around like it's synonymous with those,
Mhm.
but it is really not, and it is so much more than that. And I think um, body horror is at its best when it focuses on and explores the loss of control of one's body. Because like when I said about like home invasions, like the basic place of safety and security is the home. Well, actually, deeper than that, the most basic is one's body, right? One's body is the place where um, you have control,
Mhm.
I guess.
Mhm.
And when body horror explores the loss of control of this, I think it's at its best. And this is where Euphoria comes in, which I watched. I saw one of the episodes where Zendaya's character is going through withdrawals. It's really horrific and tough to watch. This individual who has basically this illness has taken over her body, and she's like looking at like a Jolly Rancher or something. And I don't know if you know the scene I'm talking about, but
Yeah,
she's
I do.
like agonizingly losing the battle for control of her own body with this illness. And I thought, if that's not body horror, what is? And I really looked at that scene like it was, but it made me think completely differently about the way I approach body horror. And so because I'm not like a massive, I wasn't a massive fan of the genre particularly. I haven't seen a whole lot, but Raw did something. Raw we obviously watched recently. Did it touches on this idea of the inability to control one's hunger, and like the point where there had to be this big lie, or like the parents had to control this aspect of their life and hide or have this secret from them, because once once you get that one taste, it's impossible for you to control that. And I just think there's really something there in the just losing a battle to control your own body. If that's not terrifying, then I don't know what is.
Yeah. I really love the that you talked about Euphoria because that's so true. It really is body horror. I have body horror, so I'm just gonna jump in there. And I have one that we already talked about so much. I have Raw, obviously. I have both of Julia Ducournau's films. I have Titan. I have Tusk, which is another really fun one, but really gross. Eraserhead, Jennifer's Body, and Ginger Snaps, which are all ones that I've talked about a lot on the channel. So I don't even know if I have anything more to add. But yeah, body horror is probably my favorite subgenre because I feel like they're weirdly relatable sometimes and they're very human. And I feel like I really resonate with most of the body horrors I've watched. Like I really did resonate with Raw, which is weird,
Yeah.
but I did.
I mean, it's like a very, in a strange way, it's like a coming of age story. It's like about
It
self-discovery.
is.
So it's like they all kind of have some sort of relatability behind
Yeah.
all the crazy story that like not a lot of people bother to read too much into.
Yeah, definitely.
But when you do, it's like, this is some good shit.
Yeah. Does anyone else have body horror here?
I don't, but all the movies you listed under body horror are like some of my favorite horror movies. So apparently I did, and I just didn't know it. So
I love that.
Does my mic sound like
This
shit?
is for you.
Is my mic bad?
No, I think Lanessa might be talking about just like the way you speak, like your
no,
tone.
there was some echo going on my end too.
Oh
but-
shit, really? I don't have an echo.
Okay, must have just been.
No,
Oh, wow.
I heard it too.
I'm like, oh, maybe it's just your tone of voice. No, just kidding. You
Yeah.
had an echo. I don't know.
Yeah, turn your reverb down in your voice box, Francis.
Yeah, you're doing too much, Francis. Oh, this is a great one. This is actually one of my favorite movies. Yeah, May is really great. Really great. Dee, you would really like that if you haven't seen it. You should check that one out.
Never heard of it, so I will definitely check it out.
Very good.
I may check it out.
How did I know that you would do that?
Andy,
Oh my
just like,
god.
all right.
Andy's like, I'm done here.
And he's like, I hope this witch comes alive and kills me.
I think I lost who I was at. Dee, I met you, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
I think so. Was that Francis?
Yeah. You go.
Okay. Well, since we're getting pretty far in time, I have 3, but I will just speed around them if that's okay.
Perfect. Yeah, no, that's great.
Okay, so one is surreal horror, which I just love surreal art in general. Dream-like stuff is always really fascinating to me. So, The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, one of the OG horror movies. House from 1977, hilarious and weird, and editing's awesome. Kuso, it's on Shudder. It's disgusting and weird and crazy. It's directed by the musician Flying Lotus, who I'm a fan of his music as well. And David Firth is the animator behind Salad Fingers on YouTube. And I absolutely love his work as well. And he does a ton for that movie. Eraserhead, I mean, it's the king of surreal horror. Society was already mentioned. Tetsuo the Iron Man, wild, disturbing, weird film. And Mandy, a kind of recent one that could probably go under a lot of genres, but I just threw it under there.
Nice. All great choices. I love
Yeah.
all of those. Yeah.
Did anyone else have surreal? All right, on to the next one. Vampire. I haven't seen a ton of vampire movies, but I just love the idea of vampires, especially being a classic German expression stick. Yes. Oh yeah, Flying Lotus rocks. I love the idea of being a beautiful vampire queen. Hence why my movie review alter ego, Deandra the Monster Mummy, is is basically a vampire.
Queen.
We stand Deandra.
We do.
So some of my favorites are A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night.
Yes. Oh
Good.
my god, it's so
Oh,
good. That's a
so good.
masterpiece.
It's definitely just my favorite vampire movie for sure. You
So good.
can't go wrong with the classics, so Nosferatu and the original Dracula, as well as I really love the Bram Stoker's Dracula from '92. That one's really good. And then a recent one that I watched that was pretty good was called Bit.
Oh yeah.
Bit
I've
is
seen
Yeah,
that
yeah.
one. Yeah.
it was pretty solid. Anyone else vampires?
I don't have vampires, but I
I don't have
love
it on
A
my
Girl Walks
list.
Home Alone at Night.
Yeah,
Love it.
it's great. And real quick, just documentary horror. I mean, I think we all are a part of this community probably because we enjoy listening to people talk about horror as much as we like watching horror.
Yes.
Just a couple good shout outs. Scream Queen on Shudder was really cool.
So good.
In Search of Darkness 1 and 2, both on Shudder, both really fun, very long. But if you like listening to people talk about a bunch of different horror movies from the 80s, you can check those out. American Movie, my favorite documentary ever, one of my favorite movies. It's amazing. Rewatch. It's not really horror, but it's about a want to be filmmaker who's making a horror movie. So it's close enough. And then it's not a movie, but
I need to watch that, Jay.
that's true.
Damn.
Yeah,
Gotta watch
sounds like
that.
my kind of movie.
Same.
One of my very first introductions and kind of horror teachings, I guess, is the history of horror on the Cinemassacre channel. Yeah, it's like the I guess it's the first series of Monster Madness, but they've compiled it all into one. I think it's probably about 50 minutes on his channel, on Cinemassacre channel, and it's just called like the history of horror now, I think. I don't know. Yeah, search for it, you'll find it. It's really cool though. It just walks through from the very earliest stages of horror through, just kind of gives a little glimpse at each decade up to, I think he kind of stops around like the 90s for that series, but it also came out in like the mid 2000s. So yeah, those are my last genres. Speed round.
Fab.
I'm out
Thank
of
you for
breath now.
that. Yeah, actually, it's getting to that time. So let's all, if you guys have more subgenres, let's also do speed rounds like D just did.
That's fair.
And there's a lot of subgenres to talk about, you know?
Yeah.
It's tough. We could be here till 10 a.m.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm willing to be here till 10 a.m. Despite
That's
the
why
fact
we
that-
love you, Andy.
Despite the fact that I have places to be at 6 a.m.
Oh no.
Boy.
All right. Well, we're up to me.
Yep.
Is that what we're doing?
Yep.
Is that what we're talking about? All right. Let me try not
Yep.
to draw this out any longer than it needs to be. Far be it from me to make nothing out of something. Okay. So I had 3 subgenres left, and I called them just slashers, ghosts and hauntings, and then Giallo. Giallo being
Yay!
that was honestly going to be my very last one because I realized there was a bunch of movies that I'd seen and really liked, but I didn't really give them much thought until after Celeste decided to focus in for her channel. I remember you had said something on the Discord about movies, and I was like, I looked at your list of movies, like, wow, I've only seen like 5 of these. And then I went back and I watched some more, and then you introduced me to Edwig Fenwick, which was a huge problem for me in my life.
We love the queen.
But anyway, so I'll talk about Giallo real quick. And none of these are anything revolutionary. I'll talk about one, Deep Red. I think we've already kind of discussed that one
Stupid.
as far as being a very classic, very like a staple Giallo.
Definitely.
Deep Red being a Dario Argento film. I absolutely love that movie. Everything about Giallo I like is, again, this is something we were talking about elsewhere, but just the idea, the comparison between Giallo films and like your average Scooby-Doo episode. They're super duper close.
They are.
The only the only
They
difference
are.
being is that the sort of like psychosexual elements of the killings in a Giallo
Mhm.
are really present on screen, whereas in Scooby Doo, they're sort of just off screen. But I think we all know what's going on. And then also, in Giallos, like the police force are present, but they really don't do anything until the very end, and they kind of don't seem to know what they're doing. Whereas in Scooby Doo, they're almost not there at all. So as far as Giallos go, Deep Red is it really is it's an amazing film. It's maybe my favorite of all the Argentos that I've seen. Um, and again, just going speed run through this: Deep Red, Bay of Blood, Blood and Black Lace, two Mario Bava films, which I absolutely love. And again, I'm just talking about movies that really sort of lean into the trope that I've come to love of like the masked killer,
Mhm.
the trench coat, the fedora, the leather gloves.
Yes, the
And
very
then-
fashionable killer.
Yeah, I God, I love it. And again, the Scooby Doo element of there's almost, I mean, it follows such a it's such a like a, there's the red herring, there's the plot that only barely unfolds. It only kind of makes sense
Mhm.
at the end. Sometimes there's two killers, sometimes there's one. But all those movies really they really nail it, especially I think in Deep Red and Blood and Black Lace. You see a lot of that, like, oh, there's actually, well, I don't want to spoil anything for anybody, but um, the killers aren't always what you think they're going to be. The plot, and I don't care if they make sense. They're so stylistic, they're so beautiful to watch, and that's really why you're tuning into a Giallo as opposed to just a basic thriller. They really care much more about the way things look than how much things make sense. So, and of course, Bay of Blood, we all owe a lot to Bay of Blood for showing us how slashers would be for
Yep.
many, many years to come. And the last movie I'll throw onto the pile of Giallo is Your Vice is a Locked Room and Only I Have the Key, which I only know about because of Celise. She literally introduced me to Edwig Fenech, and I have since become obsessed
He has Fennec fever.
with this woman.
I love that.
And I really, really love this movie. This has actually become my favorite of all the Fenech films, even though it's pretty buck wild as far as a lot of these Giallo films. They kind of have an endurance test at some point in the movie where it's like, like Fulci did a great one. I think it's a really, really good one in Don't Torture a Duckling, but it has that really fucked up endurance test in the beginning where you have to watch a pretty nude woman talk to a very young person for the beginning of the film. A lot of the movies have these weird scenes where you're like, boy, I don't know if I'm on board with this. And then if you can get past it, the rest of the movie is incredible. Same thing with Vice, where you see some really wild shit in the beginning of that movie. None of the characters are terribly likable. There's certain people that are definitely treated terribly in that movie. But anyway, the plot of the movie eventually gets to a place where you really love it. It has a lot of twists and turns. There's a handful of Edgar Allan Poe references that I really, really appreciate it. And then of course, then there's Edwig Fenech, who is amazing to watch on screen. I really would have loved to see more of her in film than what we ended up with. We only ended up with a handful of Giallo films, and then a whole bunch of really weird, sort of, just, I don't know what you call them, Italian just horny comedy movies. I don't know what they were, but they were just they're not good. But
Yeah,
they
she's in
had
a
her
lot of
in it.
those. Hmm.
Yeah, it's a shame because she's really is amazing to look at on screen, and she doesn't have to be in a weird sexual situation. Just the way she looks at you with her makeup and her eyes and everything.
Her eyes are like hypnotizing.
Yes, yeah,
She just
yeah.
like
She does
draws you in with
everything.
just staring.
She's
Does
a great
everything with her
actress.
eyes. She didn't need to be in any of those bizarre situations. But anyway, those handfuls of movies that I think are just some of my favorites of Giallo. They really are I think they're the archetype films, and I kind of lean into that. I really like the mysterious killer in a trench coat, killing people in strange ways for reasons that are not clear until the end of the movie, and then even then not 100% clear. So that's that. That's Giallo for me. The other two genres I have, one is slasher. And to me, this is basically Friday the 13th, which is so popular and it's not even worth getting into, but I do love that first movie. And actually I love the whole series. They're really stupid, but that first movie is really amazing to me. And then a handful of other ones that not everyone has seen, but they definitely should check them out if you like a good slasher film, is The Prowler from 1981 and The Burning. And I forget. I think that's also 1981. I think The Prowler and The Burning were two films that Tom Savini decided to work on rather than to continue on with the Friday the 13th films. He didn't. I think Savini said he didn't understand why they were making more Friday the 13th films because Jason was clearly not really the killer, and the only real killer was pretty much dispatched at the end of the first movie. So instead, he worked on the special effects for these other two movies, and they really pay off. If you've never seen them, The Prowler and The Burning, both of those movies have just incredible kills and effects in them, and they have cool, sort of
Love it.
unique killers. Even if it doesn't have as many deaths as we all love. The Prowler was shot in my town. Well, what I know of The Prowler was the opening scene at the very least was filmed in Cape May, New Jersey. And I only know about that because I used to go to vacation. I used to take vacations when I was a little kid. I used to go down to Cape May, New Jersey. And it's a really cool sort of Victorian town. It makes sense that they filmed some of the scenes there. The beginning of that movie takes place in sort of a World War II era. Basically, you have a woman writing to a soldier who is away. He's in Europe fighting, and she writes a letter to him, and that's why he comes back and eventually ends up maybe killing or maybe not. But anyway, watch the movie. It is really a cool. It's a pretty cool movie. It's a little slow. It takes a little while to get to the cool kills. Savini definitely pushes the envelope as far as some of the scenes in that movie. And same exact thing with The Burning. That's another one where that was another fairly low budget movie. It involves a sort of iconic folklore character called Cropsey, which was very popular in the upstate sort of New York area. And the funny thing about that movie, The Burning, is how many actors were in that movie that would later show up and become much greater actors. It was one of those movies that was made with a bunch of like local New York actors, and you ended up with people like Fisher Stevens and Jason Alexander and a few other folks that I can't think of off the top of my head. Again, it's another one where there's some pretty good special effects. Takes a little while to get to the cool kills and the slasher, the truly great slasher moments. But it's not a bad story, and I highly recommend it. And then what else was I going to mention? So The Prowler, The Burning, Friday the 13th. Black Christmas is a fantastic slasher film. It's been brought up before. It's been brought up on this stream before. It's been brought up on previous streams before. It's an excellent movie. Definitely go check that out. And then the last one I was going to mention as far as slashers go is Stage Fright, which people on this stream definitely
Yes.
know.
Yes.
Some people consider it a Giallo film. I only put it in the slasher territory because the killer, you definitely know who the killer is at the beginning of the movie. The killer goes around doing his thing to various characters in the movie. He uses an interesting costume in which to perform his kills. And the story is really, I think it's fairly unique, in fact. the reason why that whole story takes place is really interesting. I think everyone involved in that is fascinating. The actors and everybody, and again, it's another Michele Soavi film, who I can't pump up enough. I think that guy's a genius. An Italian director who basically was a cinematographer of sorts for Dario Argento before he got it and did his own thing. And I think that's about it. Those are the slashers that I want to talk about. And outside of those films, the last genre that I would bring up is ghosts. Ghosts and hauntings. And real quick, I'll just burn through these because none of this is new territory, especially for anyone involved in this this stream or anyone who's on this, who's watching this right now. You all know about ghosts, and so the first one I'm going to talk about is I mentioned him before, talking about Guillermo del Toro, The Devil's Backbone. He made this film, and it ends up becoming one of my absolute favorite ghost stories. Again, I think Del Toro is best when he's in his home territory, when he's in Mexico, he's in Central America, he's telling that story. And this one is a particularly interesting one. This is a period piece. This is about the Spanish Civil War. So you're talking about 1939-ish. The movie came out in 2001, I believe. Again, this is one of those movies where it's really easy to miss. It's all Spanish language, all Spanish actors. So I think a lot of American audiences probably missed this one, but definitely seek it out. Go find it. It's an incredible ghost story, and it's like all good ghost stories. It's really about the living. And Del Toro can do no wrong. So seek this movie out. Go check it out. Find it. It's an incredible movie. And actually, as far as horror goes, it's creepy. The ghost elements of it are creepy, and then watching the interactions between the actual living characters are just as awful as seeing anything else. The other movies that I'll throw in real quick, the Changeling. This is a favorite ghost story of mine. This is another one with George C. Scott. If you know anything about me, you know I love George C. Scott. He's just an actor who's better than every movie that he's in. Changeling is kind of a low-key film because it's very quiet, it's very subtle. George C. Scott plays a character who's, no spoilers, doesn't really matter, it happens so quick in the movie. Basically, he loses his family very early on in the story, and he ends up living in a giant sort of mansion with a bit of a history behind it. The whole movie plays out like all good ghost stories does, and that is very subtly. And then again, you get to watch George C. Scott just play in the realm, and that's a treat. So check it out if you've never seen it. It's worth watching. In the same realm as The Changeling, I'm going to throw this one in, 1963's The Haunting. This is one of my absolute favorite haunted house ghost stories. This, like many movies, was based on the book, The House on the Haunting of Hill House. I'm sorry. The difference is The Haunting relies on almost no special effects. It relies on very, very subtle scares. It almost completely relies on what you don't see. It's all sound design. It's all the reactions from the actors in the movie. I think it's a superior horror piece as far as that goes. This is one of those movies where, old school horror fans have probably already seen the movie. You know what I'm talking about. Those of you who have not seen it, check it out. Again, it's an older film, 1963, black and white, but it does a lot of interesting things, and it deserves your time if you like haunted house ghost stories. And the last two that I'm going to throw into this pile, my only John Carpenter film, The Fog. I think it's an exceptional ghost story, and again, it's nothing new to people who are probably on this stream or people on this panel. I think pretty much everyone's seen The Fog, but just appreciate that movie for what it is. And what it is a fantastic ghost story. It's a ghost story. It's a revenge story. It's a story about ghosts coming back and getting vengeance for something awful that happened to them in the past. And I am fucking here for it. I love that kind of story. Also, The Fog genuinely scared the shit out of me when I first saw it when I was a little kid, and I love that movie. And the last movie that I'm going to throw into the pile of ghost stories, and the last of my subgenres, is actually Candyman, which I consider to be a ghost story. People consider Candyman to be a monster for monster movies, a slasher for slasher movies. I consider it to be a ghost story. It's a folklore story. It's a ghost. This is a presence of something, and it's a representation of something of a terrible experience. And the fact that it can be sort of brought forth into our world, and it truly haunts the people that it affects. I consider it not only to be a ghost story, but it's a fantastic one, and it's truly disturbing. It's truly scary, and everything about this movie is almost perfect. So as far as like horror movies go, this is a top 10 Candyman for sure.
Definitely. Candyman's a classic.
So good.
And that's it. I think I just speed ran through all of my favorite genres.
The speed run. Okay, Melissa, did you have anything else you wanted to speed run real quick?
No, I only had those 4.
Okay, awesome. Look at the chat real quick.
Well,
I
never
haven't
the
seen the remake. Burn it with fire. Yeah, definitely. Definitely agree there. All right, you guys. We have been going for 3 hours and 35 minutes.
Another short show.
Quite the lengthy
little.
stream. Yeah, that was fun. I'm happy we could all talk about our favorite subgenres. I'm sure there's so much more we could talk about, but honestly, we'd be here all day.
Before we go, I just want
Yeah.
to say, just quickly, holiday horror fucking rocks. And that's it.
Holiday horror is awesome.
I want it to be known, and that's all.
Yeah, I love holiday horror. Yeah, there's so many good subgenres. I feel like I didn't even get to talk about some that I really like B movies. Like, come on.
There's a lot. There's be
There's
like
a lot.
harder, honestly.
I know. This could be. All right, you guys. I would like to thank my patrons for being here with me for 3.5 hours. You guys are amazing people, and I love you. And yeah, thanks to everybody who came through and watched today. You will see us next month, and we will come up with a different topic. Maybe I'll make you guys vote for a topic, because you know what? Sometimes it's really hard for us to narrow down a topic. So maybe I'll do a little poll on the community tab. Be sure to check that out. Okay, guys, thanks so much. I will see you all soon next Saturday for the table scream of Happy Death Day at 8:30 p.m. EST. Be there or be square.
Thank you.
Yes.
Oh my Melissa! Oh my God, Melissa! Where did that come from? Holy shit!
She got it for the show.
Oh, that is terrifying.
It's gonna be great. Okay, guys. Thank you so much. Have a good night. Bye.
Bye.